Military Sunday. The Marines are here, and especially the Air Force today. We salute the United States Air Force, and the young men and women from Camp Pendleton will be part of the crowd at Petco Park Sunday. And the Padres, when they wear their camouflage uniforms, are 8-3. The military does help. We're here in force, and pleased you've joined us at Petco Park, the final game of this three-game series, as the Padres wrap up action against the Colorado Rockies in 2012. Mark Grant, Tony Gwynn, we're pleased you're along, and we're still aglow over all that we enjoyed yesterday on Jerry Coleman night.
I thought it went really well. You know, it was a great ceremony that the fans showed Jerry how much they love him. I think Jerry enjoyed it, although I talked to him this morning. You know, it was like he was trying to, push it off, but I think he had a great time last night.
Well, every time you look at that wonderful statue and those three murals, it gives you shivers, doesn't it?
It does, and it's a great tribute to a great man for many generations in the future to enjoy here at Petco Park.
Well, today the Padres will try to wrap up the series and take the season series against the Rockies. They're 9-8, and they send out a name we didn't know at the start of the year, Andrew Warner.
And at this point in Andrew Warner's career, you get the feeling when he takes them out that the Padres do have a chance. When you look at the lowest ERA in first four career starts, well, this no-name left-hander about a month ago, nobody knew who he was. But the 2.59 ERA, why does he have that ERA? Guys, you know, you've seen him. This guy is not afraid to throw strikes in the zone. He's got a little two-seamer that Tony Gwynn likes. He'll flip up that changeup, and then he'll freeze guys because they've got the off-speed stuff in the back of their mind. He's just a gutsy little left-hander out there.
What do you like about him?
I like he challenges the strike zone. And even though he doesn't have overpowering stuff, that doesn't faze him. He's still going to come right at you with a little two-seamer, mix in his straight change. He works the bottom half of the strike zone, and he does it pretty consistently.
And he doesn't walk anybody.
Right.
And that has been a theme in this series. The Padre pitchers in 2 games haven't allowed a single base on balls. 4 starts, 4 quality starts for Warner. He'll try to make it 5 today as the Padres trying to win another series. They're on a good run. If they beat Colorado today, it'll be 5 consecutive series won by the Padres here on their home park. Baseball coming up. Padres and Rockies from Petco. set to go on this Sunday. Military Sunday as always, as the Padres entertain the Colorado Rockies. And our fan base up there in the upper right field seats from Camp Pendleton, the Marines. It's actually a salute today, as throughout the season we've saluted the various services. Today is Air Force Day, and many of the Air Force personnel at the positions as the Padres took the field. Here's the Rockies starting lineup. Dexter Fowler leads it off with Josh Rutledge. The all-star Carlos Gonzalez hits third. Jordan Pacheco making a rare start at catcher, as he gives the catcher we've seen, Willeen Rosario, the last couple of nights, a day off from starting, as the other catcher for the Rockies, Ramon Hernandez, is on the DL with a hamstring. Then Chris Nelson been tearing up the place. Andrew Brown gets a start in right field. Matt McGuire, we'll see him for the first time at first base. DJ LeMahieu, none the worse for that collision out in right field last night. And Alex White, who homered in the last game, as he took the Ryan Vogelsong deep for a home run, is on the mound. Andrew Warner, 25 years of age, from Washington, Illinois, and the University of Indianapolis.
Well, you know what's amazing about Andrew Warner's starts? This is going to be his fifth. Prior starts, Pittsburgh, trying to make the playoffs. Atlanta, same. Dodgers, Arizona, and he's pitching quite well. He's not walking many hitters. He's pounding that strike zone. And you know what, guys? With him on the mound, it's a good feeling to take the series from these guys.
Look at the opponent's batting average, only 198. Fowler, switch hitting center fielder, batting right-handed, will lead it off. And he comes out swinging, strike one. The good news for the Padres, the Rockies, for whatever reason, have not played well in day games. They've had 47 day games so far, and they've won only 14 times. 1-1. And on Sunday, they have the worst record in the major leagues, 5-19.
There is one positive about the Rockies this year. They're 58-0 when they outscore their opponents.
And they're 0-86 when they don't, right? Yeah, that'll happen.
You know, Dick, you were talking about that Sunday record. Those are things they talk about in the clubhouse. They don't, you know, you kind of have a sense when you're doing well on a certain day and when you're not on a certain day. And, you know, Sundays are usually getaway days. And, you know, those guys are having that conversation. Hey, let's try to get things turned around. But obviously it hadn't worked out very well for them.
The Padres have always enjoyed wearing the camouflage uniforms. I think they take this as a very special day, every Sunday special in their season.
Well, Dick, you mentioned it in the open, 8-3, right, with those camo jerseys here at home. Take that record. What a great look.
Full count now as Werner battling Dexter Fowler to start action here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Not as hot, thank goodness. Temperatures down about 15 degrees. Chop to third. Headley braces himself for the long throw. Just in time. Toe dance by Alonso at the receiving end. And here's the Padre defense. Carlos Quinton once again not starting, so it's Amarista in left, Maben in center, Venable in right. Headley, Cabrera, Forsythe, and Alonso on the infield, and John Baker starts behind the plate, handling Andrew Warner.
A couple errors last night for the Padres didn't really hurt them. It was a squeaker, though, winning 4-3. Hopefully a clean defensive game today.
Josh Rutledge takes a strike. Rookie infielder hitting a solid .292. He's earned a place on the big club for next year. Q's one to first. Alonso well off the bag, positioned perfectly for the second out.
There's that changeup, guys. Queued off the end of the bat. Hopefully we see a lot of those this afternoon.
That's what Warner does. He throws that first pitch strike and it gives him options on that second pitch. This is a good changeup running away. Rutledge hits it right off the end, and you see that downward movement away from right-hand hitters. He's not an overpowering guy, but when you can, throw your fastball for a strike and then come back with that changeup with that kind of movement, that's, it's going to be a tough pitch to handle.
Here's one of the premier players in the National League, Carlos Gonzalez. And he smothers one foul. Hitting .308, leads the team in RBIs with 85. A 2020 season, 22 home runs, 20 steals. That's 3 consecutive years he's done that. No other Rocky has in their brief history. Junior Seau Day, and some of that is filtered over here to Petco Park. Line drive into left field for a base hit as he just shoots it the other way, and he's headed for 2. Here's the throw by Amarista into second, and not in time. A double for Gonzalez. Padres didn't have the full shift on. He goes the opposite field for the first hit of the game. Just a good hit.
Yeah, I was going to say Gonzalez, he's just a good hitter. It's just, you got to mix up your ways you go about trying to get him out. That ball's in the middle of the plate. He doesn't try to pull it. Goes the other way. See, letting that ball get a little bit deeper, and he just hits that ball to left field. And that's what good hitters will do. They'll mix it up. Got to use that whole field. He does a great job of it.
Another 300 hitter, Pacheco, and he drives this one right at Venable and right, and the inning is over. Warner pitches around the 2-out double. The Padres come up. Cabrera, Forsythe, and Headley to hit. As Toyota of San Diego presents the lineup. Cabrera, Forsythe, Headley the first 3. Yonder Alonso will hit 4th. Will Venable moving into the 5th slot in the order. Cameron Maben up a notch to 6th. Amarista playing left field. Then John Baker and Andrew Warner. Alex White, he's 24 and did his college work at the University of North Carolina. He was a #1 pick by the Cleveland Indians 3 years ago and came over to the Rockies in the trade for Ubaldo Jimenez last year.
Well, high on the walks, 43 walks in 80-plus innings, and he throws a fastball, slider, and a split, and that split is kind of a power split. It's not as hard as his regular fastball, but it's just a couple of ticks below it, but it's got tremendous movement. That's probably one of his better pitches, along with that slider.
Padres have seen him 3 other starts, and they're 2-1 against White, who has a 5.40 ERA against San Diego in those 3 starts. Cabrera opens things here in the first.
If Alex White is on with his stuff, he's going to get a lot of grounders.
He's 4th in the National League, Mark. Ground balls to flyouts. 2-0.
And you know, Dick, when you look at Alex White in his jersey, right, number 6, you think it's an extra inning game, and you got a position player out there trying to mop up.
What's that third baseman doing out there? There's a strike, 2-1. And he wore that since spring training. Two-hopper to LeMahieu for the first out. And here's the Rocky defense with Carlos Gonzalez in left field, Dexter Fowler in center, Andrew Brown in right field. On the infield, it's Nelson at third, Rutledge and LeMahieu up the middle. Matt McBride plays first base, his first start of the series, and Jordan Pacheco behind the plate. Logan Forsythe has the top batting average of any player in Bud Black's starting lineup at .288. Good night last evening. 2 for 3 with a walk.
There's that split right there. Well, we touched on this before with Forsythe. He's just steady Eddie. I mean, you know, he's up to 260 at bats now, and really, I think starting to get a feel for how, you know, guys play this game at this level.
2 balls and a strike. Alex White in quite a drought. He has not won a game since, well, 2.5 months, since the first week of June. Since then, he's 0-5 with an ERA under 5. And these young pitchers on a pitch count, so it's tough for them to pick up wins.
Yeah.
He's 2-8 overall. So 3-1, Forsythe. Padres trying to be patient with the reputation of White walking a lot of hitters.
Good 3-1 hack.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Logan Forsythe one of these years. You know, sure, he's still young. You mentioned the 260 at bats for him, but you know, to get 500 to 600 at bats in a year, see what he could do.
Yeah, see what it looks like. He's shown you he's got some power. He can run. He's really smart, really patient.
Ground ball sharply into left field, a fair ball. That'll rattle down in the corner, and Forsythe on his way to second. Gonzalez having trouble digging it out. Forsythe aggressive turn and will hold at second base.
Nice.
Oh, the Padres answer with a 1-out double from Forsythe.
Nice swing, short stroke. Run that fastball in on him, and he got to it nicely. And the other thing I like about this play right here, he wasn't satisfied just getting a double. He came around second base. You see Carlos Gonzalez playing that ball in the corner, but watch him come around second base and think, hey, I'm going to make this guy make a throw.
You know, I talked to Clayton Richard about a week ago, and I told him, or I asked him, I said, hey, a foot race. Top 3 guys on the team. One of the top 3 guys was Logan Forsythe. He'd take him over Cabrera. Wow. He said it'd be tight with Amarista. Maben would be kind of, but he put Logan Forsythe in the top 3. He can run now.
You asked that question. I think Maben with those long strides probably has to be the winner if it's 100 yards.
Yeah, it's a tape. It's Maben, the way he can turn it on.
If it's longer than 40 yards, it's probably going to be Maben. But in a 40, it'd be a good race, I think.
Here's Chase Headley, the National League leader in RBIs, 102, one ahead of Ryan Braun of Milwaukee. But he hasn't had a run batted in a week since last Sunday. And the presence or the lack thereof of Carlos Quinton hitting behind him obviously makes a difference.
Sure.
Quinton on the sidelines again. His 5th straight game that he's not been able to start with that sore knee. Trying to get on the board first, the Padres. They're 49-28. That's a significant statistic. 49-28 when they score first. Alonso hitting cleanup. Two and two to Chase Headley. 0 for 5 against White this year.
Hey,
that nick him? There was a sound.
Got him in the thigh, I think.
Oh, Headley aboard, hit by a pitch. So 2 on with the 1 out.
Ooh, the knee.
Right on top of the knee.
Yeah, ball against flesh. So Yonder Alonso in a position to give the Padres the early lead. His 8th home run of the year on Friday night, a grand slam, his first. Second on the club in RBIs, 53. Second in walks to Headley. He walks a lot, 55 times. And you feel, Tony Gwynn, he'll walk even more as he becomes more selective.
I think his issue right now is just being selective. Getting, decent pitches to hit, but a lot of times he'll be too aggressive. And that's a young hitter. This kind of situation right here, it's early in the game. You're heading the count 2-0 right here, and could kind of zone in, looking for a ball, looking for it in a space where you feel like you can do something with it. You just can't overswing. You just got to just trust your stroke.
Pulled foul.
Well, two-seamer.
2-1 to Alonso.
Is that a splitty, Tony, you think?
I think it was just a good sinker. And you see him asking, hopefully an umpire, Jerry Davis, ball or strike. And that's what I mean. 2-0. You really got to make that guy come to you. You really don't want to be hit a pitcher's pitch. You want to try to get yourself in a situation where you're going to get a good pitch.
And it's 3-1.
And again, here's a count, 3-1. He doesn't want to walk you. You just got to make sure it's the one you want. Try to put your best swing on it.
The outfield swung around toward left, trying to take that gap in left center away. Big hole right center. Ground ball into right field for a base hit. Here comes Forsythe to score. Headley will hold at second. It's 1-0 Padres as Alonso delivers.
Like it might have got in on him and broke his bat a little bit, but strong enough to get it in the hole for the base hit and drive in the first run. Kind of got in on him a little bit, but he's strong.
Well, that's a good sign for the Padres because in the first 2 games of this series, they were 2 for 22 with runners in scoring position, and they atoned for that immediately today. Headley to second, Alonso at first for Will Venable.
Yeah, those 2 hits you're talking about with runners in scoring positions, Dick, accounted for 7 runs. Remember the home run, the grand slam, and Guzman's 3-run home run.
But they had another 9 chances in that Friday night game, just couldn't bring anyone home. Yesterday, just enough thanks to Guzman's home run. Venable a chance to do some serious damage in this first inning against Alex White. Took a mean hop over the low barrier there beyond the dugout of the Padres. He, unlike Headley, has enjoyed facing Alex White. 5 for 8. 1-1. So already 22 pitches for White here in the first inning.
Now you can see why he's had trouble winning games here, because with the pitch count being with the Rockies, you're rarely an opportunity to win a game.
1 ball, 2 strikes as we go to our Lexus keys to the game. Mark.
Well, our first one is regarding Will Venable, willing to go the extra mile. Will Venable has enjoyed hitting off Alex White. 5 for 8 in his career. All 5 hits, guys, extra base hits, 2 doubles, 2 triples, a home run, and a farewell victory. Final time these 2 teams meet this year. Padres lead the series 9-8. And also, it's the final game for our colleague, the lovely, talented Layla Rahimi. She's heading back to Texas, her home state, and we wish her well. So let's get a win for Layla.
Yeah, those Lone Star ladies, they like to go back home, don't they? She's going to be terrific, and it's a loss for us. Layla, you've been outstanding.
Oh, it's been great to work with you guys, and I would like a farewell victory for these Padres as well. And guess what? Going to be watching you on the West Coast, and I'm excited to see what everybody's going to do. You guys are going to be missed by me more than you. I'm for sure about that.
Layla, just so hard working from day one.
Absolutely.
I mean, she just is here early, stays late, has the interviews. You know, the real test, here's a new face here in San Diego, a woman in a men's locker room, and she earned respect from these Padres from day one. Not easy to do.
No. We were lucky to have her.
High praise, gentlemen. I really appreciate that. But you have made it very, very easy, and so have they. Thank you.
Well, they got a victory for the Colonel yesterday, so it's appropriate that the Padres should come through for Layla today. Full count, Venable. 2 on, 1 out here in the first. A run home. Left center field, that's playable. Fowler cruising for the second out. Cameron Maben steps up with a 7-game hitting streak. And he has been the hottest Padre hitter in the last month, batting .400 in the last 24 games. And he enjoys Sunday play, 342. So all the numbers favoring Maben here with 2 on, 2 out.
You know, I really think Layla's going to do really well at that Waffle House in Texas. It's just a great setup.
The diner?
For her.
Oh, the diner out there.
She's going to do a great job.
Out there between Amarillo and El Paso out in there.
Oh, those Texas League years, Tony. You never played the Texas League.
I did. I played in Texas League.
Did you?
Amarillo.
Wow. Amarillo,
yeah,
Texas.
How about that?
I remember Amarillo when our family, after World War II, went back to Michigan to visit the relatives and then came back on Route 66, goes through Amarillo. Yep. Amarillo.
Hey, ZZ Top's here, playing post game. Welcome.
Outside, 2-0. White struggling with every batter. 1 run home. Headley at second, Alonso at first, and here comes the pitching coach for the Rockies. He doesn't like what he sees.
Yeah, Bo McLaughlin was on that top step. It got to 2-0, and he was almost halfway to that foul line. Remember, he had a stern talking to the other day to Pomerantz.
Yep.
Drew Pomerantz.
And this conversation is going to be one way right here, and he's going to say, look, this is the big leagues. You can't afford to fall behind hitters, every hitter like you're doing. And if this doesn't change, you're not going to be out there that
long. I want to correct myself. I don't think it was Pomerantz. It was one of those relievers that was in the game. And it escapes me who it was, but I think he went out to have a little chat with one of the relievers. It was either Friday night. I think it might have been Friday night.
I think you're right, Mike. I think it was Friday night. But he's had a lot of these conversations with these guys on this particular subject right here. You just can't keep falling behind hitters.
2-0. Inside. So that's a 3-ball count on Maben. So Forsythe, Headley, Alonso, Venable, and now Maben, all 3-ball counts.
This is where you hope for the extra base hit. 3-1. Hitters count. Outfielders get ready. Stretch those hammies, right?
Yep. You can hit a ball like Logan Forsythe did down the line, or hit a ball, a line drive in a gap somewhere.
3-2.
That ball had tremendous movement on it.
Yeah, that's what changed her. Watch the downward movement on this thing, down and in.
Wow.
That was ball 4. Now the full count, and the runners will be off. And the bases are loaded. So a double, a hit batsman, an RBI single, and now a walk, and a Padre over every pillow for Alexi Amarista.
Jim Tracy, that's the old Bruce Bochy move right there. Take your hat off. Rub your hands through your hair. He's seen this a lot.
Young pitching staff, and it's like having a lot of children in the house. You know, they're a little unpredictable. Make a lot of noise.
You got to teach them.
And Marista now needs to be patient. It's got things in his favor. White has to come in with strikes, or he'll walk in a run.
That's the objective. You know, your pitcher's the one that's in trouble right now. He's got to come to you.
34th pitch of the inning.
Oh,
swung at ball 2.
Man.
And that's, we talked about having young pitchers out there. It's the same with young hitters. I'm sure Phil Plantier and Alonzo Powell sit and watch, and they know what's coming. You know, they know that White's not going to give in right away. He's going to see if he can get him to chase something out of the zone, but you're just patient.
Line drive right at the first baseman. Oh, my. Tough luck hitting for Amarista. Matt McBride, the first baseman's glove in the way of that line drive. Presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Petco, where the healthy pets go. And the Padres take the early lead, 1-0, and just miss a chance at a big first inning as Amarista's bullet right to McBride at first base for the final out. And Andrew Werner, with that luxury of having an early lead, will face Chris Nelson, Andrew Brown, Matt McBride in the top of the second. And much more comfortable for fans. It was unbearably hot the last few days. Now this is typical San Diego weather.
Yeah, not bad. 77 degrees at first pitch, not a cloud in the sky.
And somebody's got to live here.
I was just going to say that, Dick. As my good friend Mr. Dick Edberg always says, somebody's got to live here.
Oh, my. Still see the star out there in center field, and that's a nice remembrance of a terrific day yesterday for Jerry Coleman. And the Padres management, creative department, you can hang a star out for them because they did a terrific job with the entire ceremony, and of course the climax being that wonderful statue and murals. 2-0 to Chris Nelson. He's hit safely in the last 7, not just hitting but tearing up things. 519 in the last 7 games, 14 hits.
Look at that. Falling behind 2-0, and he throws him a changeup.
Not giving
for
in.
a strike.
Yeah, 78.
Love that.
Shot to second and by Forsythe into center field, and Nelson continues a rip Padre pitching. He's now hit safely in 8 games. That's the longest of his young career.
Not a bad pitcher by Warner either. He's running away. He stays on it. Takes it right back up the middle.
Hit so hard that it paralyzed Forsythe. He had one step and the ball was by him. Andrew Brown, probably saw him up in Colorado. He hit a home run in the series last up at Coors Field. Only 59 at bats. And takes it low, ball 1. This is a rookie loaded team with the injuries to Troy Tulowitzki and Todd Helton, Kadire, Eric Young. In fact, Colorado's rookie contingent with 168 runs batted in. That's over 1/4 of their runs. It leads the major leagues. Runs driven in by first-year players. Out of necessity, but young guys are stepping up and answering the call. Ground ball, that's into left field. Brown has a sharp single, and the Rockies come back with back-to-back base hits to open the second. Brings up another rookie, Matt McBride. McBride, an older rookie. He's been around a while in the minor leagues, finally getting a chance with the big club. 27 years of age.
Those two last hits, guys, were probably on fastballs, it looked like, right? Let's see if Warner tries to ease up a little bit, maybe get a grounder with a changeup or a breaking ball here. Fastball fouled right in the chest of John Baker. John Baker got it right in the chest protector.
It looked like Jim Tracy's going to bunt runners and move them into scoring position. He's going to let McBride go ahead and swing the bat.
Number 8 hitter DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman, on deck. Change up. 0-2. McBride from Lehigh University. Isn't that in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania? I believe it is. He went to high school there and stayed in Bethlehem to go to school. Tried to sneak that fastball over the inside corner.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really admire about Andrew Warner. He is not afraid, especially with 2 strikes, to come in off the plate there. Because a lot of pitchers won't do that because they're afraid they'll miss middle in, and then they'll get crushed.
Yep, straighten him up. Got him thinking about that fastball in. Again.
Oh, he doubled up and he just missed.
So the count goes 2-2.
I don't think he thought he missed. I think he thought he dotted that inside corner.
Young kid saluting one of the Marine recruits, obviously of their family. McBride, he too came over from Cleveland in the trade that involved Alex White, the pitcher today, and Drew Pomeranz we saw yesterday from the Indians in the Ubaldo Jimenez deal a year ago. Kind of shocked folks, the trade, because Jimenez was a outstanding top of the rotation starter, but you can see they got some good talent from the Indians. Pops him up shallow in center, no infield fly rule yet, and then at the last minute throw back to third, almost a double play. Alonso sneaking in behind the runner at second base, Chris Nelson, and Nelson a little tardy getting back to the bag, almost a double play.
That's heads up play right there by Alonso. See, both of the middle infielders are going back for the ball, and you see Nelson. And I'm not sure that he got back there.
That was close.
Yeah, this is a great quick throw by Cabrera, and he puts it right on the money.
Oh, I think he might have been out. Very close call. But a hits-up play by Alonso.
Yeah, you usually don't see a first baseman trailing a play like that at second. But on that play, both of the middle infielders went for the ball.
Well, if Grandal and Alonso are any indication of the schooling they get at the University of Miami in baseball, that head coach down there does a good job because they really are bright baseball players.
Coach Morris does a great job down there at Miami. And
LeMahieu falls behind 2 strikes. Of course, Blake T. Cody also out of the Hurricane program. Yeah, that's a coach, Tony. You just have to appreciate when kids do it without having to be told.
Yeah.
And then you say, yeah, things are going well here.
We call it when the light bulb comes on. When the light bulb comes on, you know that they understand what you're talking about. You don't have to worry about them anymore.
2-strike pitch coming up. Not a bad move by Werner, just to make sure that Nelson and Brown don't have eyes on a double steal here. Chase, strike 3. First strikeout. And that brings us to our Sequan Casino Daycation highlight of the game. And the K belongs to Andrew Werner. He gets LeMahieu to go after one in the dirt.
It was a changeup, wasn't even close. He's got to protect, expanded the zone there, especially with runners on. And credit John Baker as well for smothering that baseball. Runners staying at first and second. Yeah, we love that pitch.
Yeah, that's a good score in another sport and other sports. Nothing wrong with it.
No.
Lots of love.
Yeah.
Huh? Uh-oh. Deep drive, left field. That's the pitcher, White, and he has hit a home run. Alex White, who homered in the last game, drills one into the first row over the left field barrier, and the Rockies have a 3-1 lead. Well, no wonder he wears number 6. He hits like an infielder. Shocking blow from Alex White. Just when it appeared Werner was going to pitch out of the first 2 singles in the inning.
Got too much of the inside part of the plate on that one, and White was so busy watching that ball, he almost missed first base. Look, he's watching, and he has to back up to go back to touch first base.
First pitch, hacking.
So White in 26 at bats has 5 hits and 2 of them home runs. So he helps himself. And that ball whacked hard into the alley in right center field, and Dexter Fowler has an easy pull-up double as the Rockies hammering away at Andrew Werner here in the second. 4 hits in the inning, a couple of singles set the table, Nelson and Brown, and then the 3-home run line drive home run by White, and now Fowler's double.
Well, Alex White swinging early in the count, the first pitch for the home run. Fowler being aggressive early.
Nice job by Cameron Mead,
yes,
cutting that ball off and getting it back in. Fowler's speed.
So the pitching coach Darren Bowlesley comes out to talk to Werner, just as Alex White had a visit from his coach in the first inning.
No, the one thing I liked about Werner earlier was threw a first pitch changeup for a strike with runners in scoring position. You know, Alex White's the pitcher. You want to get ahead with the fastball. It's just a bad location. Doesn't mean you can't throw him a fastball. Just in bad spot.
That ball was in. Normally with pitchers, you don't want to, start them off with a cookie, and you're right. Just bad location. And White put a short stroke on it. He did a nice job swinging it.
Josh Rutledge grounded to first, his first at bat. In the dirt. The way these Rockies swing the bat, it really belies their position in the National League West. Everyone thought with the loss of such star players as Tulowitzki and Kadire and Helton that they'd have trouble winning, and they have. Boy, they can score some runs. 2-0 now. Werner falls behind Josh Rutledge. There's Tulo.
The problem with the Rockies has never been the offensive side. These guys, they've always, since their start in the National League and their initial existence, they've always been able to swing the bats. Pitching has been the bigger issue. Of course, field, do you go with a sinker ball or a sinker slider guy because the ball doesn't move as much there? And
the other part is recovery. That Houston Street saying the big difference coming back to sea level is you feel okay the next day. When you pitch up at Colorado, you
get beat up. You really do, physically, not only mentally because it's a grind. But you're right, Dick. Michael Kadire on the bench watching.
Yeah, he was enjoying a terrific season until the injury bug hit him. And now a walk to Rutledge. 3-1, the Rockies lead, and they've got 2 on with 2 out here in the second.
Follow Fox Sports San Diego's coverage of the Padres with MLB.com at Bat 12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and much, much more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit Padres.com for details.
Dyer playing in only 101 games, 16 homers and 58 runs batted in. And here's Gonzalez, double to left his first time. And that's a balk. You could hear the umpire, Jerry Davis, call it out as Warner didn't step off, broke his hands, and that moves the runners to third and second. Fowler into third and Rutledge to second. And this has become a serious inning. 3 runs are in. Broken bat ground ball to Alonso. He'll hustle to the bag and the inning is over. But Colorado gets 2 singles, Nelson and Brown, and then Alex White, the pitcher, with a low line drive that just carries over the 357 sign. And it's 3-1 to the visitors.
Rockies 3-1, and just a couple of updates for you on Houston Street and Carlos Quentin, both not playing today. Quentin out of the lineup another day, resting that knee. Buddy Black says he continues to improve, but the concern is being able to get into his batting stance and also just being able to plant in the outfield. As for Houston Street, the concern there, still needing to be able to run to first and field his position, but the good news is both players are improving. Send it back upstairs. Dick, Tony, and Mark, guys.
All right, thanks for the good news, Layla. John Baker leads off the second inning. The Padres fall behind by 2. Alex White has done the damage with a home run, 3-run shot. But he's also done some personal damage with his lack of control. 35 pitches in the first inning, and the Padres got a run in and left the bases loaded. 1-2 now to Baker, with Warner and Cabrera to follow in the second. Old school stirrups for Baker.
Love it.
White is the second pitcher to hit at least 1 home run in back-to-back games in Rockies history. Mike Hampton, he could hit.
Yeah, Mike Hampton could. For a little guy, he could swing the bat.
Up the middle, good stop by White, who was a shortstop pitcher in high school, a third-team high school All-America. So he's much like Casey Kelly. He was attractive to the pro scouts not only as a pitcher but as an infielder, and that's why he wears that number 6.
Cat-like reflexes, my gosh. That's a heck of a play.
That ball's going to go right back up the middle for a base hit. Does a nice job.
Werner, 1 for 9 as a hitter. Padres with 15 games left after this, 9 on the road. They go to Arizona and San Francisco next week, and then 6 at home, and finish in Milwaukee. Line foul. We hope you're making plans to be with us. 3 games with the Dodgers, the 25th, 26th, and 27th, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then the Giants here. That'll conclude the home schedule. Bouncer to short. Rutledge across the diamond for the second out. A couple of ground outs. That's his reputation here in the second inning.
Earlier today, I'm sitting up here in the booth, and I saw this catcher down there working on blocking balls, and I thought it was Wheeling Rosario after last night's game, but no, it's Jordan Pacheco getting down, working on his catching skills, knowing that he was going to catch today.
Cabrera grounded to second his first at bat.
Looks good back there.
Yeah, he was an infielder at the University of New Mexico, and then he got drafted by the Rockies, and right away they tried to make him into a catcher. But, this year he's filled in at third, filled in at first. Really hadn't caught that much. And
this is just his third game behind the plate.
Yeah, he's a hard-working kid. You like the way he goes about his business. But you just don't see guys working on their skills before the game starts.
Fastball at 90. Blew by Cabrera. Who was Colorado Rocky property when the Padres selected him in the Rule 5 draft 4 years ago. That's a tricky part of the offseason, isn't it? How you protect players, and every scout, every team, they're looking down into the minors, and maybe somebody won't be protected. We'll grab him as the Padres did Cabrera from Colorado. Watch out.
That's a part of the game as a player you really don't think about that much. Especially if you're playing on a team that's not in the hunt, you don't really think about what other teams might be thinking about. You're just focused in on trying to do the best that you can, but there's scouts from every team, almost at every game, watching.
Yeah, you think about the scouting department. You got one set of scouts that are looking at high school and college kids for draft. You have another set of scouts that are advanced scouts that are looking at the other team so that they have the reports to give to, say, the Padres when they go to Arizona. They'll have reports on somebody that's been watching Arizona. Cabrera didn't like the call. He's called out on strikes. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Alex White, who enjoys a 3-1 Colorado lead. San Diego, and it's time now for the San Diego County Credit Union factoid of the game. Leaders best winning percentage one-run games this year, and the Padres with a 22-19 mark. Atlanta best of all, 23-11. Padres trailed today 3-1. They won last night by 1 run, 4-3.
If you notice those 3 boats there, the biggest one was Mr. Enberg's. Mine was that little dinghy down in the little inflatable one that was up against the dock there.
Ain't nothing wrong with the little dinghy, yeah.
Still get around. See, this is mine right here. And then this is Enberg's right here. Underneath there's a big party going on.
If that's mine, I'm giving it to you today. You can have it. Fouled back. Pacheco, Nelson, and Brown to bat for the Rockies here in the 3rd.
Hey, you scratched my anchor.
Yeah. I've heard too many people who own those big boats saying that's the best day of their life is when they buy it, and the second best is when they can sell it. Good hands, nice Alonso. Play. That ball had a lot of English on it. 1 away.
Decided to come in and get that ball instead of staying back. Took it on the short hop.
That was squirreling its way out there.
Well, we all know what Andrew Warner needs. A nice, quick top of the 3rd inning here to get back in that dugout and have his offense go to hacking.
Nelson started that 2nd inning with a sharp single up the middle. I don't remember him last year. Of course, he was a rookie last year, taking such aggressive swings. I mean, he was just another guy. Now he's a threat. I mean, his home run on Friday night was into the 2nd deck in deep left center field. He hit that 3-run homer to beat the Padres on a Sunday a couple of weeks ago up in Colorado, 11-10. One ball, 2 strikes, the count. Off day tomorrow, and then on to Arizona Tuesday night. Guessing wrong there, and that's a good pitch by Warner to back him away.
Yeah, just straighten him up. Wasn't really close to him.
Maybe change up away here.
And the count full.
Got to make a pitch now.
That's a good look right there, guys.
You think? Popped him up. Cabrera. 2 away.
Warner didn't give in there right on that 3-2 pitch. Throw him a change up. Nelson out in front.
You know, a good look was yesterday at the ceremony. I saw a guy with a beautiful suit, suspenders, had the nice fedora, sitting right near me down by home plate. Yeah, looked a lot like you,
really?
Mike Grant. Yeah, good look. GQ.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I like your lid as well. Where did you get that?
I bought that during Wimbledon at London a few years ago on Jermyn Street. You know, that's the best street in probably the world for shopping for men.
There's the professor.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
How do those guys come up with that stuff, huh? You can't get away with
No,
anything.
you can't. Sure can't.
2-0 now on Andrew Brown. He singled through the hole left side first time.
As hot as it was yesterday, yesterday was a good day for hats.
Yeah, that's the reason I brought mine, and we thought we might be in the sun during the ceremony.
Got a little warm down there. I had to take mine off there towards the end of the ceremony.
Yeah, you were lathering up. I saw it. 2-1. Lined by the shortstop Cabrera into left field. That Brown's hit a couple of balls on the nose. He's 2 for 2. Brings up Matt McBride. First baseman popped to short his first at bat. A little outdoor picnic party, libation time.
You know, I think hats are starting to make a little bit of a comeback. I think they're underrated. More and more guys, you know, women wear a lot of hats, but guys got to break out the chapeaus.
Well, I think it's because Americans, certainly San Diegans, more conscious about the high deep drive. McBride and Amarista can't go any farther. That one's gone. 5-1 Colorado. McBride's first home run of the season and his first major league home run. No doubt about it. That had the sound.
Again on first pitch.
Yeah, both home runs. Alex White, the pitcher, the 3-run shot, first pitch, Tony, and to Matt McBride.
So Matt McBride, that's a thrill for him. His first major league homer. And it comes with a man on and a 5-1 lead for the Rockies. That'll bring a lot of smiles out. Drive to right field off the bat of LeMahieu, and Venable there to collect it. But the Rockies build on their lead. Matt McBride goes deep, and it's 5-1. Some players that don't get many starts, and Jim Tracy has pushed the right buttons today as Matt McBride at first base, a 2-run homer, and the pitcher Alex White with a 3-run shot, and Colorado early leading 5-1. Forsythe doubled his first time up and takes a strike. Forsythe, Headley, Alonso for the Padres. Work to be done early, down by 4. Looper into shallow left center. Fowler can't get there. Logan Forsythe 2 for 2.
Don't you just love those, Tony?
You're a hitter. Yeah.
Hits are tough to come by, right?
Especially when a little bit out in front of it. You don't hit it all that great, but you put it in the perfect spot.
Just spoon it out there for a base hit.
Serve it out there.
Padres try to come back after falling behind now by 4. Here's Headley, hit by a pitch the first time up.
Yeah, you especially like those to start off innings.
Marines with a chant up in the right field corner. Almost like it alarmed Alex White, had to back off the rubber. Some young faces there.
Oh, man.
Just below the knees. Fox Track says it may have got a little bit of the knees, but plate umpire Davis saw it as a ball. Southland Technology bringing you that Fox Tracks. I would imagine everyone likes that, but the umpires. Yeah. Runner goes. Ground ball into right field, base hit. Forsythe keeps right on running to third on a solid single by Headley.
Wow.
That was very close to being a line drive double play, the hit and run, and Headley, a low line drive just by McBride at first base.
That's a hit and run right here. Really, Andrew Brown's got no business even trying to throw Forsythe down to third.
Yeah, that ball gets away, and you allow Headley.
Forsythe running on the pitch. There's no reason to throw this ball to third, but he does. And luckily for the Rockies, Nelson comes up with it.
And the Padres with a chance to rally back. Here's Alonso. He singled in the Padre run in the first inning. Ground ball through the right side. And the pitch count mounts. 55 now from Alex White. No one out. Third inning. Two and 0. So a ground ball pitcher, Alex White, trying to keep that ball low, look for a double play. Forsythe at third with a blue pit, and Headley a solid single, line drive at first base. And 2-0 the pitch. 3-0.
Nice job by Alonso this time. 2-0. I'm going to just bite at anything here. It's
Ball 4. Not even close. 4-pitch walk, and the bases are loaded. A Padre over every pillow. That brings the tying run to the plate here in the third. And let's go to our AT&T trivia question on this Sunday afternoon. Yonder Alonso's the 9th Padre rookie with at least 130 hits in a season. Can you name the last Padre rookie to reach 130 hits prior to Alonso? Khalil Green?
That's a good guess. That's a real good guess.
Yeah, we'll have the answer for you in the next half inning. We never are allowed to see the question, so we are guessing.
Yeah,
that's a really good guess, though.
So the Padres with a camo uniform over every bag, and Venable the hitter. Ball 1. And Venable is was noted by Mark Grant earlier, has been chewing up Alex White. 5 hits, all extra bases. He did fly out to center his first time. One of the better Padres with runners in scoring position as well. High fly ball. Fowler giving ground. All the runners are tagging. Fowler makes the catch. Run scores 5-2, and running into an out is Alonso. Oh my. Had no chance. And Fowler throws a strike into second, and it becomes a double play, and a run scores. Oh, that's running you right out of an inning. Obviously, Headley at second base is going to make it at third, but Alonso, who doesn't have much speed, that was a very risky play.
Yeah, I think Alonso thought that the throw was going to go to third. Instead, it goes to second. Mayhew tag. Well, the tag is high, but Wall beat him there.
It's a sacrifice fly. So you give Venable a RBI, even though it resulted in a double play. You don't penalize Venable. And it's a big run now. They're at third with 2 outs. Headley, with Maben up, he walked the first time.
It's one of those situations as a base runner. That's why you got to keep your head up. If you're going to go, you need to see that center fielder is going to throw that ball second base. Alonso put his head down and didn't realize the throw was coming to second base until it was too late.
It's a good throw by Fowler on the fly.
5-2 the score. Headley at third. Chopped to short. Rutledge across and the inning over, and a golden opportunity. Bases loaded, no one out, but the Padres get only one. Rockies lead by 3. And score only one. Trail 5-2. A couple of big home runs by the Rockies. Reminder to be out here as the Padres entertain the Giants a week from Friday, September 28th. It'll be Hispanic Heritage Night presented by Verizon. Get to the park at the park early. Always a pregame party, music, art, culture, fun for the entire family. Tickets available at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555. You can see this pitcher, Alex White. He comes up there with an idea that he's going to get a base hit and lined a home run, a 3-run homer in the second inning. Just cleared the barrier and left. That was a low liner just over that 357 sign. Make sure you touch that first sack.
He pulled a Mark McGuire there, didn't he?
Swings and misses. Strike 3 here to lead off the 4th. Second strikeout for Werner. And here's Dexter Fowler, grounded out and doubled. Fowler been solid both sides of the plate as a pinch hitter. He's hitting .318 as a right-handed batter and .302 left-handed. And he walks more than any Rocky, so that's an ideal leadoff man. The only negative is he strikes out too much for a leadoff hitter, 119 times. Fooled on that pitch as he tried to bunt his way aboard.
I would say this year has probably been his best year in the big leagues. Rockies have kind of thought of him as their possible leadoff guy for a couple of years, but this is the first year where he's, even though he's striking out a lot, he's still getting over 300. Swinging the bat pretty well from both sides of the plate. Showed a little bit of power this year. He's driven in some big runs for him.
Leads the team in triples with 11. And an interesting note up on the Petco Park scoreboard. He's the fastest Fowler to 50 triples since World War II. 50 triples in 503 games. Well, second fastest, Gary Templeton, in 487 games, hit the 50 mark in 3 base hits.
How come I laugh and smile every time I hear the name Gary Templeton? Gosh, I love that guy.
Because you're thinking like I'm thinking when That guy loved to play.
Oh, man, he was fun to be around, too.
He was.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and he gets him with that breaking ball in under his hands. A couple of strikeouts for Warner here in the 4th.
Good sweeping breaking ball, and that's exactly where you want it. We talk about it all the time. Went ahead, 2 strikes, aim for that back foot of the hitter. Lefty on righty. Not much you can do with that pitch.
Yeah, when he was pitching Alex White there in the 2nd inning, that's where he was aiming for down and in and left it in the middle.
Josh Rutledge grounded to first and walked. Warner works at a good pace. Hits the ball and fires. Fastball misses. 2-0. Cardinals and Dodgers up in Dodger Stadium are tied at 2 in the 4th. San Francisco and Arizona tied at 2 in the 4th. The winner of that Dodger-St. Louis game will have the jump for that second wild card spot. Watch out.
I think that thing's going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, a lot of teams right there. Pittsburgh still alive for a wild card. The Dodgers score. Ball out of play. And Pittsburgh, the Pirates, they had lost 7 in a row, just did eke out a win at Wrigley yesterday. They had a big lead today. Now they're behind 10-9 in the 6th inning. You think the wind might be blowing out at Wrigley today? There's the wild card picture. Pittsburgh 2 back, Milwaukee 2 back. What Padres might well decide Milwaukee's fate in the last 3 games of the season.
Padres still have Giants 6 times, Arizona, Milwaukee for 3.
LA for 3.
Dodgers for 3. So they're going to have a say.
Yes, on the inside corner, and Andrew Warner strikes out the side. He gets White, Fowler, and now Rutledge looking. Always a highlight on our Military Sundays, the playing of the U.S. Marine Corps hymn. And our recruits from Delta Company, 1st Recruit Training Battalion, Camp Pendleton, at attention. Beautiful Sunday in San Diego as the Padres again take time to salute our military. Now back to the action as The Padres trailing 5-2. Bottom of the fourth. Alexia Amarista lined out with the bases loaded. First baseman McBride his first time, and of course today saluting in specifically the U.S. Air Force, and many of the brass and Flyers are here. As guest of the Padre management. Alex White with a 5-2 lead. Ground ball loved by McBride, and there's one away. Amarista's found the first baseman McBride with both of his at bats. And let's go to our AT&T trivia question. And Yonder Alonso, the subject, he's the 9th Padre rookie with at least 130 base hits. The last Padre rookie to reach 130 before Alonso was Kevin Kuzma.
Wow.
How about that?
Forgot all about Kuz.
Somehow he never seemed to be a rookie.
Rookie, yeah, exactly. I was thinking more like Josh Warfield, but that was a while ago. Huh?
I thought Khalil was a great guess.
Well, we hope Khalil, wherever he may be on this day, is sorting out his life.
Yeah.
Going through that social depression.
Wish him well.
John Baker. And the count's 1-1. Baker tried to punch one through the middle of the diamond, but Alex White did a good job of spearing it and throwing him out. Back in the second inning, Anthony Bass loosening up the long reliever. Pitcher due next, Werner. But Black may be thinking, should Baker get on to go to a pinch hitter?
Yeah.
Two balls, two strikes. This probably will be White's last inning as he's approaching 70 deliveries. That's Andy Perino. Full count.
Just missing. Good eye by Baker, and you know, for a guy who doesn't get a lot of at bats and catches once in a while, that's a pretty good eye up there at the plate.
It really is. I mean, White's not missing by much. You know, the fact that he's going to be pitched 71, maybe the fact that he knocked in the first three, he might give him a chance to win this game today.
That, in a way, regardless of what side you're rooting for, it would seem poetic justice, wouldn't it? 2-8 on the season. Foul ball. Mind you, the diehard fans don't quite hear what you're saying, that you're not rooting for him to win the game and beat the Padres. You're rooting for him personally to have a chance to win.
I'm just saying, pitch count, they've been sticking right around 75, 80 pitches. And for a lot of these young guys, it's only 4 innings. So they don't even get a chance to win a game.
Yeah, they leave, for example, if he was pulled here, he's got a 5-2 lead but can't win the game.
Can't win the game, exactly. And
what kind of reward is that?
All I'm saying is, he's pitching well enough.
That's a good at bat for Baker.
As soon as I say that, of course, he walks somebody. But, again, this has been the issue with the Rockies, is that guys are falling behind in the count. They have to throw a lot of pitches. The pitch count adds up. Guys are reaching the 100 pitch mark by about the 5th inning, and you got to go to the bullpen.
So Werner stays in the game. That's a third walk plus a hit batsman by White. And Werner up there to sacrifice. And takes ball 1.
Well, the last 3 times out for White, 76 pitches, 71, 76. He's thrown as many as 95. That was early in the year, though.
That's before they went to the new system. Yeah. Left-handers throwing down in the bullpen. Matt Reynolds. go to second. They throw it away. There's a break for the Padres. Baker back on his feet, and he'll make it to third on the throwing error by Alex White. Padres will accept that throwing error. A break for San Diego. Sacrifice E1.
Boy, off at the plate and off to second base. He worked underneath that ball, and it just tails away. A break for San Diego.
Yep. You can hear the call all the way up here. He just turned and wheeled and really didn't get it close to Rutledge at second base. This ball is right behind John Baker's head, sliding into second base.
Maybe a measure of the youth of this Rocky team, but they lead the National League in errors. So first and third with one out for Everett Cabrera. Chance to chew away at that 5-2 Colorado lead.
Huge break right there for the Padres.
Now can they take advantage? Cabrera grounded to second and called out on strikes. Ball one. Think he was going to bunt there? Or is he just showing?
That might
bunt,
just be a
take
show
a pitch
type, just to create some movement maybe and put it in the back of their heads.
Well, it's not a bad play if you take it with you.
Like
try to get it between first and second because you're going to get that run in.
Ground ball right up the middle. That's made to order double play, but they can't turn it as shortstop Rutledge had trouble with his footing. And Baker scores an unearned run to make it 5-3. Credit Cabrera with a RBI. Would have been two. So loose defense here by the Rockies helping the Padres.
Well, luckily Rutledge didn't stay on his feet.
Tell you, Warner at first base, going to second. He's got to learn to either peel off or if you're going to commit, you got to slide.
Yeah, right.
Watch him going to second base. LeMahieu, if he throws that ball, there's a good chance he might get that right in the melon.
Forsythe 2 for 2 and has scored 2 runs, a single and a double for Logan. So as he steps in at this at bat, his average up to .294. Cabrera, the leading base stealer for the Padres with 31. He had a big lead there. Figures if he gets the opening, this isn't a matter of taking a steal sign. He's going if he can find the right pitch to steal.
Trying to get himself in scoring position, and the Padres can chop into that lead a little bit more.
There he goes. The throw by Pacheco, and that ball caroms into left field, but unable to advance further was Cabrera. He didn't know where the ball was. That took an unusual carom. Don't know if it hit Cabrera, hit the bag, but that scooted all the way out to Gonzalez in left field.
Yeah, just first look, it looked like it hit him in the helmet, and it ricocheted into left field.
32nd stolen base. Oh,
yeah,
it did right in the side of the helmet. Goodness. Good old helmet.
And that's not the slide, but the flap on it.
Yeah,
he didn't know where it was. If he knew where it was, he could have gotten to third base. But
does he know where he is?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the question now. And they're going to go out and make sure that he's okay. Just imagine if he had not that protective helmet. That
Sure. Oh.
Yeah, it's a reflection of how hard that ball hit the helmet that it would roll all the way out to Gonzalez in left field. Just give him a chance. That's like taking a right cross. Get your head clear, and he's okay. Thank goodness. Been a big year for Cabrera stealing bases, hasn't it?
I think the whole year has been a real learn process for him. I mean, he's made great strides in a lot of areas. You know, occasionally throwing away from shortstop, but you know.
Pitch at the plate was the ball. So 1-0 to Forsythe. Chance to pick up another run here. 2-0. Already big day for Forsythe. Doubled and scored in the first, singled and scored in the third. And here comes
another visit
pitching
from
coach
Bo McLaughlin.
Yeah, it used to be in the old days, and I remember in Pacific Coast League, Tony, they played the owners off on Monday. You played a full week, and you had doubleheaders on Sunday, 7 innings for the second game.
Right.
It's kind of in the spirit here today, the way this game is pacing along. It's not a doubleheader, but it's going to feel like one before this game's over. And let's just hope the result is the right one. We're already almost an hour and a half in, and we're just in the fourth inning. And we haven't even started the pitching parade that's going to come from Colorado. Over under is 6 for the number of pitchers they'll use in any given game. 2-1.
And I know Cabrera's in scoring position already, but if White keeps one look at him, he's going to steal third.
Doesn't take a commanding lead. You can see bottom of your picture.
Some kind of secondary lead he takes.
And that sails high into the crowd off to the right.
You know, after that pitch, as White delivered that secondary lead from Cabrera, he was a good third of the way to third base. A good secondary lead from Everett.
Forsythe can get a base hit right here. They're going to have a hard chance throwing him out anyway.
Rockies lead it 5-3 on a couple of home runs. A 3-run homer by the pitcher White, a 2-run homer by first baseman McBride. But the Padres cutting into that lead here in the fourth, and a chance for more. Struck him out. So Forsythe goes down swinging. That's a big strikeout for Alex White. He's made it through 4 innings. Colorado leads by 2.
Race 5-3, and today is Mexican Independence Day, so we say Viva Mexico to our neighbors. And look who came to celebrate: El Hijo del Santo and the Blue Demon, two very popular luchadors in Mexico, and Eduardo Ortega hosted them around the ballpark today. In fact, they even got to go into the Padres clubhouse. Cameron may have been excited to see them wearing their jerseys. And in fact, they did say Maven on the back. A lot of pictures taken, a lot of fun had, but we do enjoy it this afternoon and celebrate with Eduardo and Juan Avila, our Spanish broadcast partners. Send it back upstairs to our English broadcast partners, Dick, Mark, and Tony.
All right, thank you, Layla. Andrew Werner, top of the 5th inning, faces Gonzalez, Pacheco, and Nelson for the Rockies. 5-3, Padres taking advantage of an error, get an unearned run in the last of the 4th. Gonzalez a double and a ground out to first. 1-1.
Well, Cargo just hasn't been getting it going on the road this year, huh? On the road about 242.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah, at home, 371.
How did you home and away, Tony? Were you a little better at home than away, or pretty consistent?
I guess probably a little better at home, but
not significantly.
No, I loved playing on the road. That's some of the parks. Atlanta, for instance, Cincinnati, just great hitters parks.
2-2.
Get to play in Colorado at Coors Field. I didn't get to play very often, but played at Mile High.
That's
an offensive ballpark right there. Right there.
People that say the ball doesn't carry more in high altitude.
Yeah.
Huh? Swung on and missed. Strike 3. One after a pitch out of the zone, and that's 4 consecutive strikeouts by Andrew Werner, who struck out the side in the 4th. 5 total in the game.
Defensive swing.
Mm-hmm.
He was moved up in the box a little bit too, Tony. Just a little bit.
Well, sometimes that's what guys will do when you're not facing that guy who's overpowering. Because it throws your timing off when you face that guy not throwing as hard.
Now, you were set up right in the middle of home plate, correct?
I tried to stay in the same spot, but other guys don't buy that theory. They used to seeing that guy, get that pass ball up there in the mid-90s.
Mm-hmm.
When you face a guy whose fastball is going to be in the 80s, the hardest part of hitting is waiting, letting that ball get closer to you. And so instead of doing it that way, some hitters will move up in the box when they're facing a guy who's not overpowering.
How about a guy with a big curveball step up in the box?
Some guys would too.
Try to get it before it gets
Try to get it before it gets that full break.
Ground ball foul, and the count on Pacheco 1-2.
I just felt like it was easier if you stayed in the same place all the time. It'd be easier to figure out how do you attack things. But that's a great thing about this game. You can do it a million different ways to get the same kind of result. So
how many times did you change your stance over the course of your career?
Just twice. I went from a closed stance to being parallel, and
fouled at the plate 1-2.
I went from being in the front of the box to being in the middle.
So here it is, Tony, in your career. At home, you hit 343 in lifetime. On the road, 334.
Okay.
That's just what you said. Very consistent, huh?
Yeah, that's awesome.
This guy figured that out that quick.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we can hike it another 5 points if you want.
No, I just Chiron Bob. I know he's down there.
1-2, and a fly ball to right field. Shallow, Venable, fighting the sun out there.
Okay, well, since Chiron Bob does a great job all the time, I got a little homework for him right now because Tony and I were talking before the game. Lefties that gave him fits. I want to find out numbers. Chuck McElroy versus Tony Gwynn, career numbers. CB, get on it.
Chuck McElroy.
Yeah. Tony said he had this little two-seamer.
Two-seamer. Oh, God, he'd get in on my hands. Just seemed like I could never square him up. He would run that fastball in my hands and break my bat. And we were just talking today before the game, and Mud mentioned his name, and I just cringed because
made your Sunday.
Run that fastball in on your hands. Boy.
2 strikes now on Chris Nelson, who has a single and 2 at-bats. So Warner settling down since he gave up the 2-run homer to McBride in the 3rd. Has retired 6 in a row. 4 of them by strikeout. Line drive into the crowd, and he's in front. 2 strikes on Nelson. Well, talking about moving around the batter's box, you were steady. The man that I remember as being all over the place was Rod Carew.
Yeah. I asked him about that because, Rod, he had all kind of different stances for lefties. He'd flatten his hands out. He'd move up. And he talked about being comfortable. And I told him, it's just easier for me if I just stay in the same spot.
Well, Tony, Chuck McElroy didn't really own you.
Okay.
You were 6 for 19 off him. You hit 316.
You kidding?
Boy, that's a slump. Huh?
Wow.
Shortstop Cabrera in the hole to dig that one out and throw out Chris Nelson. Another 1-2-3 inning for Andrew Werner, who indeed has settled down. 7 straight retired.
reminder, Sunday, September 30th is Military Salute presented by USAA. Join your Padres in saluting the men and women of the armed services with a special pregame ceremony before the Padres take on the San Francisco Giants. First pitch is at 1:05. Get your tickets at Padres.com or get on the horn and dial 619-795-5555. September 30th. Our way of saying thank you to the military.
That'll be our final Military Sunday, saluting the prisoners of war and those missing in action.
Best statue in all of Major League Baseball, Mr. Enberg, don't you think?
Oh, boy, they got you. And they certainly captured Jerry Coleman as well, but that's a beautiful piece of art.
Got the palm up. That's a P-Rod through the 5.5 hole.
Chase Headley to face the new pitcher, Adam Ottavino, as we go to the last of the 5th inning here at Petco. 5-3 Colorado. Against starter Alex White. Headley hit by a pitch and singled to right. So White went 4 innings, allowed 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 4 hits, walked 3, hit 1, and struck out 2. And 2-0 the count to Headley. If indeed the game should remain as the score is now, and Colorado uses a series of pitchers, 1 inning, 1 inning, 1 inning, the official scorer could still give the win to Alex White, could he not? Or why would you have to give the, if the score doesn't change or isn't tied?
Have to go 5.
You have to go 5 innings.
Yeah, but that doesn't right. So another guy goes 1 and he gets the win. That's a real vulture.
Yeah.
I think that's where that term came from.
Phil Regan?
Yep.
Vulture.
3-0 to Headley. And he's on a 4-pitch walk. So Headley's been on base all 3 times. And that'll bring the tying run to the plate here. In the bottom of the 5th, Yonder Alonso. RBI single and a walk.
You guys have seen plenty of baseball, more than I, but there's been times when a starter's gone 4 2/3. You get that really, they get 1 out, and then he gets credit for the win. I've seen that before.
1 pitch, get an out, and get a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can happen.
I saw Marcus Moore do that as a Colorado Rocky in St. Louis when I was with the Rockies in 1993.
And after guys high five on the field and you walk back into the dugout, you hear guys going, wah, wah, wah.
The vulture.
You vultured one.
Headley getting things started. Leadoff walk here in the 5th. And Ottavino, like Alex White, having trouble finding home plate. Now, I'm just saying hypothetically here. I do believe the official score, if they don't, should have. If a player goes 4 innings, leaves the game with a lead, the game score never changes. That team continues to lead to the end of the game, and you just use a series of pitchers for 1 inning. Yep. How do you pick the pitcher that's going to be the winner? I mean, the one that contributed most is the starter.
You're right.
Boy, I'm getting upset here.
We do have some things in this game, some rules in this game.
Base hit to right field. That's another good piece of hitting by Alonso, who's 2 for 2. And the Padres have the tying run on, no one out. Headley goes to second and Alonso at first. And Will Venable the batter.
It's hitting here by Alonso. He's thrown 5 straight balls, and he picks out the fastball that he throws for a strike and gets a base hit.
Yeah, Ottavino wanted to go down and away there. Leaked in. Good recognition on that and spinning on that pitch.
I can just hear some fan, barrel voice fan down by the dugout saying, "Don't tag up, Yonder. Don't tag up." Venable, a sacrifice fly his last time. That was the play where the Padres, Alonso at first base tag, tried to make it to second on the fly ball to center field, and Fowler threw him out easily for a double play. Venable knocking in his 41st run of the season. Slicing down the left field line and out of play. And the count, 2 strikes on Venable. Vino would be the wine and Italian, right?
Right. Otto would be what?
Otto, I don't know. Maybe that might be a rosé. Chianti. I'm guessing Chianti. Struck him out. Pitch it well out of the strike zone, and Venable chases for the first out. Brings up Cameron Maben, trying to extend his hitting streak. 7 in a row. He's walked and grounded to short.
Ottavino might be, hey, out of wine, but that's not a good sign. But
no, that would be a terrible sign. Again, the Padres, as it's been in this series, seem to have runners in scoring position every inning. Two on, one out. 5-3 Colorado.
Slider for a strike to go along with the fastball. He throws a split as well. That's a new pitch for Ottavino this year. And also he'll mix in a curveball. Doesn't use that pitch very often.
Padres are 1 for 6 runners in scoring position today. In the series, 3 for 28. They're due to unload one.
Well, hey, that pregame workout is now paying off for Pacheco on that last slider in the dirt. Nice block. Nice pick.
More and more the catchers going to that hockey mask. Seems to give them much more protection against those foul tips. And the old grill.
I would just think after wearing the other mask, it's a little bit harder to see with that one on.
That was Nick Hundley, but he finally converted to the mask as his John Baker uses. 5-3 Colorado leads here in the 5th. 2 on, 1 out to Maben. 92 on the fastball. Well spotted. Inside at the knees. Headley at second. The tying run, Alonso at first. Looking at this day in history in 1972, can it be 30 years ago that Mike Schmidt hit his first home run on his way to 548?
Wow.
Dave Winfield, 93, his 3,000th hit on this day as a Minnesota Twin. Got his 3,000th off Dennis Eckersley. 2-2 toward the hole, and that's into left field. Headley around third, and they're going to hold him. Gonzalez has quite an arm, and the bases are loaded as Maben battles with 2 strikes on him, and his hitting streak is now 8 straight games. That moves Alonso, the tying run, into scoring position and brings up Amarista.
He did a pretty good pitch down and in. Bounces this ball in the hole.
Third time in 5 innings, the Padres have the bases loaded. Normal left fielders who don't have your weakest arm usually is in left field. Headley scores on that play.
Yeah, he's got a cannon out there.
Glenn Hoffman wisely holding him up. Well, Amaristo, bases loaded, 2 outs in the first, hit a shot, but right to the first baseman McBride for the final out. He grounded to first, leading off the 4th. A little ninja chance to do some damage. 1 out. Pound for pound, he may take as big a swing as anybody in baseball.
Yeah.
The one thing you don't want to do in this situation is to just overswing. Get yourself a ball in the zone, and when you hit the line drive to first, you just put a good swing on that.
Nelson, the third baseman, just off the edge of the grass at third. The rest of the infielders well back. They'll trade a run here for a chance at turning 2. 5-3, but Padres have Headley at third, Alonso the tying run at second. Maben with plenty of speed. Go ahead run at first. Pops him up. Second baseman LeMahieu out shallow right field, and Padres are just having great difficulty with bases loaded coming up with even a good fly ball. So 2 away, and it's up to John Baker. 1 for 7 now runners in scoring position today, and 3 for 29 in the series. All that can change in just one good swing.
Yeah, and you know what, the key to remember when you're hitting with guys in scoring position is if you swing at strikes, your success rate goes way up. Because pitchers use that aggressiveness against you. Maurice is looking for a fastball, so he gives him a fastball, but it wasn't in the strike zone. You guess right on the pitch, but you're wrong on the location. And not only do you make an out, but it's the kind of out that doesn't score a run. And you got a young team, so those are things you have to learn.
All the way to the screen, but it bounces right back to Pacheco. What a break there. That was a perfect carom to the catcher. He turned, the ball was right at his feet.
Was that a cross-up?
That was a cross-up.
That
right
ball
there.
didn't, that was straight out of the hand, back to the screen. Didn't hit umpire, didn't hit catcher, didn't hit glove.
He's looking for a breaking ball, and it's a fastball, and it goes right to the screen, comes right back.
That's a break for the Rockies.
Yeah.
It could have kicked the right or left, but it went, look at this. In fact, he didn't touch it. So the ball just a perfect bounce right back to Pacheco.
He was waiting for that. He was waiting for it to break, and it never did. It stayed straight.
Oh, 1-1 to Baker. Base is full. Line to left field, base hit. That'll score 1. Here comes Alonso. They're waving them home. Here's Gonzalez throw. It's offline, and Alonso's in there. It's tied up. The throw just into fair territory enough that Alonso was able to skid across home plate with a tying run. John Baker, there's that one swing the Padres have been looking for. Ties it up. His 12th and 13th RBIs of the year.
We talked about Carlos Gonzalez's arm. Baker slices this ball into left field. One hop. Gonzalez, strong throw to the plate. Alonso barely got his hand in there.
Oh, this is very close. Oh, we get screened by Alonso, but according to Jerry Davis, he was right on it.
Pacheco did a great job, didn't he, of flagging that glove right on that arm, but Alonso able to stay wide of home plate foul territory and make that tag a distance enough away that he's able to tie it up. Here's Andy Perino batting for Andrew Warner. On the play, Maben held at second base. Baker with a 2-run single at first.
Good for John Baker. Glad to see John get on board, take a backdoor slider the opposite way.
That matches the total of the Rockies. 5 runs, 7 hits aside now here in the 5th inning. We start anew, tied at 5. 2 outs, 2 on for the pinch hitter. Perino had a couple of hits last night. A bloop double for an RBI, and he punches one to center field. Here comes Maben around third. Daddy Longlegs will score. The throw to third is not in time. Baker's in safely. And on to second goes Perino as the Padres take the lead 6-5. Tracy doesn't like the call at third. That was close. And of course, that's also a big play because Maben can't just lope home. He's got to get in there before the play at third, because if the runner at third had been called out, Baker, then the run could have been negated at home plate, and Tracy very upset with third base umpire Phil Cuzzy.
Nice hitting by Perino. He didn't waste any time. Got the pitch he was looking for. Fowler comes up gunning the third. I think he was in there.
Yeah, I think he got his hand
got
on
his
the right
hand
side
to
of the
the
back
outside,
there.
kind of went skidding right over the play, but he kept contact with that right leg.
Tell you, John Baker sliding to third base, ended up looking like a yard sale out there. Arms and legs all over the place.
That was like the grease pig contest. He went after third base as if he was all greased up. He was going to surround it. Now the Padres with 3 runs to rally here in the bottom of the 5th inning and take a 6-5 lead. Perino wound up at second on the throw to third. And we go to the top of the order. The 8th man to bat in the inning is Everett Cabrera, who has an RBI and a ground out, 0 for 3. Baker at third. Perino, good pinch hit for the kid.
How about the bench guys coming through in this game? John Baker, not starting once a week or so, and then Andy Perino, a big clutch hit off the bench. And you look up at the scoreboard, and Padres lead by 1.
And Andrew Werner, the pitcher of record. He got his 5 innings in. One and one.
You've got a couple of knocks here in this inning with 2 outs, 1 more. Give you a cushion that you might be able to work the rest of the game with.
Line drive, fair ball into the corner. That'll get 2 more home. Baker and Perino score. On his way to second, Cabrera with a 2-run double, and the Padres add on a 5-run inning. It's 8-5.
You just knew as a matter of time the Padres have played too well to continue to struggle with guys in scoring position. And today, this inning in particular, 3 straight 2-out knocks. Cabrera, short stroke on his fastball inside. This is a bullet in the right field. The Padres increase their lead.
Cabrera with his 19th 2-base hit of the season, his 3rd RBI this afternoon to lead the way. He winds up at second, the 9th man to bat as the Padres have hit around. Logan Forsythe, he's 2 for 3. So the Padres rudely greet Adam Ottavino. 5-run 5th inning. Now it's kind of interesting. We were looking before the game at the innings where the Rockies score the most runs and the innings where the opponents of the Rockies score the most runs. We've detailed ad nauseum about the whole pitching philosophy here of the young pitchers going only 70, 75 innings. The Rockies score more runs in the first inning than any other inning. Guess what inning they give up the most runs? The 5th, this inning, and the Padres have added 5 more, and that's about where the pitching changes are made in their system. McLaughlin wearing a path from that third base dugout out to the mound today. Count a ball and a strike. Check that, just a ball on Forsythe.
Well, you got to love that 2-out thunder. 7 of the 8 runs scored this afternoon with 2 outs. 4 last night with 2 outs. And the Padres have been the talk of Major League Baseball recently with scoring a lot of runs. They're up there in the rankings as far as 2-out runs. Got to love that.
They've averaged exactly 4 runs a game this year, not 4.01 or 02, just exactly 4 runs a game, and they've got a big 8 on the board here, a terrific crooked number, a 5 in the 5th for a 3-run lead. Forsythe now with a count of ball and a strike. There goes the runner to third, and ball goes into left field on the throw, and Cabrera will score. It's 9-5. There's that delayed steal. Cabrera caught the Rockies off balance, and by the time third baseman Nelson got to the bag, the throw by Pacheco was into left field.
He was trying to do that in the last inning when Forsythe struck out, and it's just a delay steal. Pacheco tries to hit Nelson on the run, but the throw is towards the shortstop side of third base, and there comes and scores.
You know, also take this in consideration, guys. With Pacheco back there, not used to catching, you've got the right-handed hitter up there. Puts a little pressure on the catcher as well.
Yeah,
to take that delayed steal.
Quite a day for Cabrera. He's knocked in 3 runs, a double. He's stolen 2 bases, and he steals a run here. And the count goes full now to Forsythe. 6 runs here in the 5th inning and a 9-5 lead. You know what they call this kind of inning down in Texas? A Layla inning. This is a Layla inning right here. Foul back, out of play. Those of you just joining us, Layla Rahimi, our star sideline reporter, interviewer. She's working her last game here for Fox Sports San Diego on her way to her home state of Texas. She's going to be a treasure for him down there in Houston.
Dick, you're too nice. This has been a lot of fun to watch, though.
Now you just got to get, it's your responsibility now, Layla, to hold that lead now, 9-5.
I had trouble locating my fastball. I'm going to be honest.
Hey, I've seen that fastball. It's pretty good. A lot of late life.
When it's not in the dirt, sure. Or when it makes it to the plate. That's always a good start.
3-2. And Forsythe spoils another. So in the inning, trailing 5-3. It all began with Headley's walk. Doesn't it always come around to get that leadoff walk? Man, oh man. Alonso with a single after Venable struck out a single Maven to load the bases. Ooh, off Ottavino, and by the time that is picked up, Forsythe safe at first base with another hit. 3 for 4 day for Logan Forsythe. And the hit parade continues. And Jim Tracy has seen enough of Adam Ottavino, and the new pitcher will be Matt Reynolds. One of the big innings of the season for the Padres. A 6-run 5th inning. And they're still alive with 2 outs, and Forsythe at first. It's 9-5. To take the 9-5 lead. Third pitcher used by Jim Tracy is Matt Reynolds. And here it's a runner at first base, Forsythe, and the 10th man to bat in the inning, Chase Headley, who started all this with a walk. 14 times this year, Bud Black's team has scored 5 or more runs, and this is one of those moments that make a manager feel pretty good. Headley turns it around, bats right-handed for the first time. Again, going back to, as you look at Reynolds' marks on the year, a very frequent appearance, 68 now for him. But the leader in RBIs in this National League's at the plate, Chase Headley. but he does not have a run batted in since last Sunday. He drives that one to left field. How deep is it? It may go. Touch ball. That's an RBI plus one. 104 now for Chase Headley as he has just clubbed his 28th home run of the season. And the Padres build their lead to 11-5.
You ask Dick, he shall deliver. Looked like he took a little bit off of that, but Headley's right on this ball. 2-run homer.
And here's Alonso, and it's over the head of Gonzalez, and Alonso on his way to second base with a double. His second hit in the inning. He singled after Headley walked to start this go-round. 8 runs here in the 5th inning. What a day for Alonso. Singled in a run, walked, singled, and doubled in this inning.
Well, Tony, I'm going to have you break down this swing here because that's almost reminiscent of the grand slam going the other way.
He backed it up, and I'll be honest, Carlos Gonzalez didn't take the greatest route on this ball. It was slicing hard from him, but
well, this is the biggest scoring inning of the entire season for the Padres. They've done a laylaw on the Rockies. 8 runs scored, most of any frame all season long. Up the middle, and Reynolds able to glove that ball off the bat of Will Venable. He's the only one that hasn't enjoyed the hit parade. Headley started it with a walk, and Headley finished it with his 2-run homer, number 28 on the season. And the Padres running the bases with Cabrera leading the way. Score 8 times in the 5th inning to take an 11-5 lead. Enjoyed a lot of base traffic, and home plate dented 8 times as they rallied from 5-3 down to take the 11-5 lead. And a reminder, don't miss Padres shirts off your back, their backs actually, presented by Saquon. Here's the deal. You can purchase a $1 for $1 scratch off ticket at your next Padres game, or you can come to the Padre ticket windows while they're on the road for a full week that's coming up, going to Arizona and San Francisco. Non-game days, the box office open. You buy a $1 ticket and a chance to win a camouflage jersey from a Padres player or coach. That'll come 2 weeks from today on Sunday, September 30th. All proceeds will go to the Padres Foundation, a great cause. And it's a lot of fun, too. Get one of these camouflage jerseys right off the back of a Padre manager or coach or player. Well, Adam Ottavino, that's a rough inning for him. 2/3 of an inning, 7 runs. All earned, 5 hits. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. The 8th run, the home run by Headley, goes on Matt Reynolds' card. And Anthony Bass now in for Andrew Werner, who went 5 innings, allowed 5 runs, all earned, 7 hits. He walked only 1, and he struck out 5. The walk is significant because the Werner base on balls to Rutledge in the 2nd, the only walk given up by Padre pitching in the entire 3-game series.
Yeah, I think you could have sneaked that one in there.
And the bullpen, understandably, will be busy the rest of the way for Colorado. Bass came in on Friday night and looked like the Anthony Bass of old. Went 2 1/3, no runs, just 1 hit. Brown, a couple of hits, and the count goes full. Singled in the 2nd and scored, and singled again in the 3rd, scoring both times on home runs. And Alex White, the pitcher, a 3-run homer in the 2nd, and Matt McBride, the first baseman, a 2-run shot in the 3rd. Pops it up. Second baseman Forsythe shielding his eyes. 1 away. Bass has retired his first hitter. That'll bring up Matt McBride, who homered his last time up.
You know, guys, I know there's a lot of baseball left in this game at the top of the 6th, but, you know, it's always fun to look at the scoreboard. The Diamondbacks now in the 6th, they lead the Giants 8-2. But just hypothetically, if the Diamondbacks lose today and the Padres hold on to win, it'd be a game and a half.
Oh, they'd be a half game. If the Padres win, Arizona loses, they'd be only a half game out of 3rd.
Half game out of 3rd. You are correct. Yeah. Going into Arizona for the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday series.
Oh, yeah.
So let's say it stays the same. Both Arizona and the Padres
right.
win. It'll be a game and a half, 3-game series. Padres got a chance to move into 3rd place.
Yep.
No question. It has been a remarkable turnaround, especially their play here at home. If they win today, they'll be 23-7. And they'll win 9 of the last 10 series here at home.
That's what we were talking about when this series started, was how good they've been here at home, and, you know, driving in runs. And we went through a 2-day drought there where they were having trouble getting hits with guys in scoring position. But they played too well. You knew sooner or later they were going to bust out of it and start putting some runs on the board. You don't win this many games at home without being able to do that.
Ground ball to 3rd. Headley holding his ground. 2 away.
And Tony, you and I had a discussion before the ball game. What was the one phrase that we were talking about? Somebody's gonna pay.
Oh, yeah. Sooner or later. You know, I've been picking Yonder Alonso and just pick the stats. Sooner or later.
Let's see. You've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 points for Alonso.
I'm not counting. I'm just saying he does so many things right. You knew sooner or later he was gonna break out, and that's kind of how these guys have played. Sooner or later, somebody was going to get a hit with guys in scoring position, and it was going to snowball from there. And that's kind of what's happened today.
Yeah, it was Baker that got the big hit.
Yeah.
It was 3 for 29 runners in scoring position until Baker got that 2-out double.
See, you get one of those, and on that particular one, it tied the game. You get one of those, it kind of has a tendency to kind of snowball.
DJ LeMahieu has struck out and fly to right. 2 balls and a strike, the count on him.
You know, the other part of that is the Padres have had to manufacture runs. The Rockies had a 3-run homer and a 2-run homer.
3-1.
And it wasn't until Headley's home run there, 2-run homer to make it 11-5, that they got their first homer.
Venable doing a little housekeeping out there in right field. Something perhaps that fan lost a ball. Yeah, that's it. Rockies are leading in errors, and the fan there miscue. And a ball 4 from Bass. 2-out walk, and that'll bring up the pitcher's spot. Let's see who's going to be called by Jim Tracy to
It's like Charlie Blackman.
Yeah, Blackman, who.
Now that's a good way to keep cool. Kids having some fun, playing with some misters.
Blackman surviving a terrific collision in right field last night on the ball hit by Andy Perino. So it's good to see that he's fine. Homered on Friday night for the 7th run in the 7-4 win, and he hits this one to left field. Amarista has a beat on it. And that's it for the Rockies in the 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Padres with a 6-run lead. What a 5th inning, 8 runs. That's 1 run shy of the most ever scored by the Padres in the 5th inning, 9. And they were scattering 8 hits around the ball yard. Good base running. Alonso making it in under the tag. Baker made a good play at third. Cabrera stole a couple of bases. Timely hitting, and Cabrera's double well ripped into right field. And there's the delayed steal, Cabrera, and the throw into left field by catcher Pacheco for another run. And then the capper, the 2-run homer by Chase Headley, his first 2 RBIs in a week to give him 104. The National League's #1 run producer, Chase Headley.
That's awesome, isn't it?
It is.
That's
Leading
music
the
to our
league.
ears.
He's the league leader in RBIs.
Rob Scahill called up from the minor leagues, making his 2nd appearance for the Rockies.
Oh, fastball, slider, curve, and a change from Rob Scahill, 25-year-old rookie.
Blackman stays in the game in right field on the double switch. Cameron Maben with a single in that 8-run, 8-hit 5th inning to extend his hitting streak to 8 straight. So 8 is the magic number today. Popped up. Shallow and right. Blackman calling. Said, get out of the way. LeMahieu said, I'm happy to veer off after what happened yesterday. Amarista and Venable are the only Padres without a base hit today. Venable does have a sacrifice fly. Amarista's lined to first, grounded to first, and flied to center. Scahill is 25 years of age, Illinois native, Willowbrook, Illinois. Just his 4th year professional ball, and so he's made it up to the big leagues here in September. Cargo is out, and the new left fielder is actually Brown has moved over from right field to left field. So put the pitcher in Gonzalez's spot, third in the order. Two and one to Amarista. That one sails off the facing of the third deck and all the way down behind the third base dugout.
Always have to be aware of the rebound.
Well, the Padres, who had struggled in the series to come up with hits with runners in scoring position, certainly made amends in that fifth inning, didn't they? They're now 7 for 14 today, but they were 3 for 29 at one point. John Baker on deck. Second baseman LeMahieu. 2 away. And a reminder, college football on Fox Sports San Diego all season long. How about last night? You stayed up to watch the replay of Stanford USC. Was that a good one? Well, if not, if you're a Trojan fan, but exciting football action. And this week the ACC is back. Miami and Georgia Tech go at it. Bragging rights on the line. Coverage begins next Saturday at noon on your home for college football, Fox Sports San Diego.
I like that game, Professor. I'm a big Cardinal fan. Love the Cardinal of Stanford.
Baker, a key hit.
Yeah.
It really was. You can't minimize how important that hit was.
He got the big hit because that got him back to even. Down in the count, 2 strikes. Went the other way. 2 outs.
Lined that single to left field to knock in 2 to tie it. And then the merry-go-round, the Padre carousel, scoring 8 times. 1-1. So off on the charter flight tomorrow afternoon to Arizona. We'll give you the pitching matchups, some good ones in the 3-game series that'll include a Thursday day game. 2-1. Eric Stoltz will get the start Tuesday night, 6 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego for Padres Live against star right-hander for the D-backs, Ian Kennedy. Elise about to get his first major league at bat should Baker keep it alive here in the 6th inning. The pitcher's spot due next. Solis an all-star at San Antonio. 3-1. And he'll have to wait. Ground ball to second, and an easy inning for Rob Scahill as he retires the Padres in order, and we go to the 7th.
is winning this one, top of the 7th inning. Mark Sweeney, Mike Pomeranz with you. Coming up in the post-game show, got to talk about that 8-run 5th inning. Mark, everybody contributing.
Well, it's all about big hits, and after Amarista didn't get the job done with a sacrifice fly, John Baker getting that big hit. Then we had Andy Perino coming on and getting a huge hit. All about the big hits for the Padres, and it is very contagious today.
So when we see you in the post-game show, we'll talk about that. The battling effort by the starter, Andrew Werner. You're going to hear from the manager, Buddy Black, and we will tour the big leagues and show you some of the games that are shaping this playoff race. And don't forget our instructional, How to Pull the Ball, with Tony Gwynn and Mark Sweeney. We'll see you after the last out.
All right, that should be a great post-game show as we say goodbye as well to our colleague Layla Rahimi. We'll get the final score of that St. Louis Dodger game. The winner of that game moves into the second spot for a wild card for the moment as Brad Boxberger comes in to pitch the top of the 7th inning and will face the leadoff man Fowler, then Rutledge, and the pitcher's spot. And we have a report from New York where Milwaukee shut out the Mets today 3-0, and Ryan Braun hit 2 home runs. Solos. So Headley still leads Braun by 1 RBI atop the National League race. Braun, well, he's had another great year, hasn't he?
He has.
103 RBIs, Headley 104. Braun's got to be close to 40 home runs this year. Time called. You could hear Jerry Davis with the count 1 ball 1 strike on Fowler. The 2 home runs give him exactly 40 to lead the National League. So he's making a bid again for MVP.
Yeah.
Just make sure you keep that refrigerator door locked.
I don't know how they're going to. This year's going to be interesting in the National League, I think. Because a lot of years, like Ron won last year because Brewers won their division.
That makes a big difference in the balloting, doesn't it?
It does. In today's game, I think it really does.
Dodgers, bad news today when Clayton Kershaw had to bow out of his scheduled start with that sore hip. They can ill afford to lose him going down the stretch. Still tied, Dodger Stadium. Swing and a miss, and Fowler goes down. Boxberger has a strikeout. And let's take a look around the majors, including Clayton Kershaw, due to start today. They're hoping that he doesn't have to have surgery and he'll be able to pitch the rest of the season. Russell Martin, the former Dodger, a 3-run home run in the Yankees' 6-4 win against Tampa. And Anthony Rizzo, 3 for 6, a double and 2 home runs in the Cubs' 13-9 comeback win over Pittsburgh. Pirates now just 1 game above 500 for the season. And you got to pull for Pittsburgh to have a winning season.
How many games really above 500 at one point? I mean, it was
like
over 10 games, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah,
more than that.
over 10. I'm going to say close to 20.
Wow.
That's a football score at Wrigley. Fouled out of play. We're talking about this day in history. Now, this is one for the books now, gentlemen. Never happened before, never happened since. 1946. Remember it well. Rutledge now with a count, 2 strikes. Brooklyn at Ebbets Field were playing the Cubs. And the game was called after 5 innings. Brooklyn won 2-0. Called and strike 3 on Rutledge. A couple of quick strikeouts by Boxberger. Because of gnats, Kirby Higbee was the pitcher that day for the Dodgers. And there were so many gnats that he couldn't. I mean, they were all around his head flying. He's trying to knock them away, and the umpires didn't know what to do. And then they looked in the crowd, and the crowd had the scorecards out, and they're waving to try to keep the gnats off them. And so a game was called because of an accumulation of too many gnats. Not the gnats like in Washington now, G-N-A-T-S, gnats.
That reminds me of that game Jabba Chamberlain with the Yankees in Cleveland.
I did that game.
Did you really?
Yeah. And when he said that, that's what I thought. I thought the same thing was going to happen.
Boxberger's got the good fastball going. That last strikeout to Rutledge was a changeup, so he's got that working nicely as well.
And pitcher Rob Scahill gets a chance to bat. Just up from the minor leagues, gets not only a chance to pitch, but to swing the bat. Looks like he's not too bad with the stick.
A Bradley Brave. Andy Mazer was made a point to come over to our booth in between innings saying, hey, Scahill went to Bradley. Well, that's where Andy Mazer went. And I told him to take a hike after he came in our booth.
Is that what you tell a Brave? 3-2 now to Scahill as Boxberger a chance to strike out the side here in the 7th inning, having already taken care of Fowler and Rutledge. And he walks the pitcher, Scahill. Jordan Pacheco steps up. He's 0 for 3. $22,000 plus the attendance here on a baseball and football Sunday. And Sunday has been a run day, fun day for the San Diego Padres. That was, by the way, Scahill's first major league at bat. I don't know if you get a ball when you walk. I mean, maybe they'll give him first base.
No,
If they,
I think that's why they let him hit. You know, he's going to get his first crack at it. He really had a great at bat. He fouled off a couple of pitches. He didn't chase anything. Ends up getting a walk. So, and he gets to stay in and pitch a little bit longer.
Fly ball, left center. Amarista over and in. And that's it for the Rockies in the 7th. The Padres with an 11-5 lead. Stretch half of the 7th inning. They'll have the baseball anthem, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. But first, we're going to join in here on Military Sunday for God Bless America from beautiful Petco Park in downtown San Diego.
It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Before we sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game here on Military Sunday, please stand and welcome back U.S. Air Force ROTC Detachment 75 Short-Sleeved Blues. Please sing along as they present God Bless America.
God bless America. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans bright with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Short-Sleeved Blues.
as they rally from a 5-3 deficit to take an 11-5 lead. Bottom of the 7th inning. And we're going to see the first major league at bat of Ali Solis. Solis, native of Mexicali, Mexico. A star in the minor league system for the Padres. Made the All-Star team in the Texas League. The entire year with the San Antonio Missions. Regarded as one of the fine defensive catchers in the system. And Bud Black giving him a chance to swing the bat here. Rob Scahill, able to have an at-bat in his first major league experience as a hitter. Gets a walk, and now let's see how Solis does. There's his numbers in San Antonio, 283, occasional power. And he swings at the first pitch, pops it up behind home plate. Pacheco has just enough room. That's so close. Solis rooting for that ball to go just another foot more foul over the screen.
He waited a while for that first at bat. He wasn't going to mess around. First fastball. He'll get another chance.
Up just a little bit too much, working underneath it. Great concentration on Pacheco's part there.
Yeah, it's got to be tough. You're got fans right in your face, the netting. Alonso over to give Solis a pat on the back. And we go to the top of the order. And Cabrera, he had a big hit in that 8-run 5th inning, a 2-run double. He's knocked in 3. Another run batted in with a fielder's choice, and he's stolen 2 bases. That might be playable. Sliced into the left field area. Brown in foul territory to make the catch. Padres first ball hunting here in the late innings. Logan Forsythe, he and Yonder Alonso each with 3 hits to lead the way today. The Padres with a total of 12 hits. Forsythe, 2 singles, a double, scored 3 runs. Alonso, 2 singles and a double. He scored 1 and knocked in 1. Five runs scored by the Rockies came on the home run ball. The starting pitcher Alex White hit a 3-run homer in the 2nd inning to make it 3-1. And then 5-1 on a 2-run home run by Matt McBride, the first baseman, in the 3rd. Padres came back to score 1 in the 3rd for a 5-2. Another in the 4th, 5-3. And then the explosion, 8 runs. The biggest inning of the entire season in the 5th. Off the glove. That's going to be tough for the pitcher. He can't pick it up in time, and Forsythe is safe at first base.
Have a day, Logan.
Good things happen because you put the bat on the ball.
Going to call that a hit.
Yeah. Still, he'll knock this thing down. And he knew he had to hurry. He saw the first baseman there. He was the only one who was going to be able to make the play. So
if he feels it cleanly here, he might get it.
He's got him if he feels it cleanly, but he doesn't. And that's an infield knock.
Oh, believe it.
And you'll take it.
4-run game for Forsythe. He's flirting with 300 by day's end. Chase Headley, last time up, batting right-handed. Found one just long enough at that 357 marker. Headley's 28th of the season. And now with 104 runs batted in, 1 more than Ryan Braun to lead the National League.
It's going to be an RBI chase when we go to Milwaukee to end the year, huh?
Yeah.
October 1, 2, and 3. Braun versus Headley.
Here's a look at the home run leaders after the All-Star break. Headley now with 20 since the break. They're not going to touch Caminiti, 28. Wow. What a finish for Ken Caminiti, 96. But Headley a home run away from being the 2nd most productive home run hitter. And Padres history after
I think
the
he'll
break.
get that before the year's out. He'll be in second place in that category.
Might even get it today.
Okay.
1-2 the count. Headley hit by a pitch in the first, singled in the third, walked and scored in the fifth, and homered in the fifth. So he's 2 for 2 today. By the way, speaking of Forsythe, with that infield hit, he's now up to 298.
Man, so many good stories this year, huh? You know, when you think about it, we could have a whole hour show on just the great stories of 2012.
You bet, especially in the second half of the season as Headley finally makes an out, grounds out to second. And on to the 8th inning at Petco. 11-5 for the home side. Well done, Bill Craig and Robbie in our editing truck with a little mini movie. Great touch. You get a flavor of this game. It's been Sunday run day, fun day for the Padres. Amarista now has moved from left to center, and Jesus Guzman enters the game in left field. And Corey Burns, the fourth pitcher used by Bud Black. Bass and Boxberger out of the bullpen each worked a scoreless inning. And now Burns.
Yeah, Mr. Changeup. That's his number one pitch. He'll mix in a fastball every now and then.
Chris Nelson leading it off. And the count goes 3-0 to Nelson, who is a single in 3 at bats. Brown to follow, along with Matt McBride. Shadow going right through the pitcher's mound. Up the middle, and that'll skip on into center field for a base hit. Nelson's second hit. Boy, he's had a good series.
Yes.
2 hits today. 2 hits yesterday. 3 hits on Friday night, including a home run. 7-hit series for third baseman Chris Nelson. Andrew Brown, 2 for 3. Getting that one up to 91 miles an hour. Padres trying to make it 9-3 in the camos. The Sunday military jerseys become so popular with young kids. Trying to move above 500 and get day action this year. If they win, they're 24-23. But more importantly, if they can win today, they will have won 9 of their last 10 series. 5 in a row here at home. They swept Pittsburgh, or not, swept Pittsburgh, then beat Atlanta, Arizona, St. Louis, and they need a win for Colorado. 3-0 now the count. And Burns falling behind Nelson 3-0, and on 3-1 Nelson singles, and now 3-1 to Brown. And a full count. And he walks Brown. That's not what you want to do with a lead in the late innings. Two on, no one out.
I'll tell you, Professor, what you do want to do. You know what that is? Attention all season ticket holders. Renew your season tickets and be a part of the 2013 San Diego Padres Baseball Club membership. Choose the membership and ticket plan that fits your specific needs. Enjoy exclusive events.
Discounts. What was that? What kind of events?
Exclusive.
Oh, there you go.
And discounts all year long. It's unbelievable. Visit Padres.com/membership and become an official member today.
And apparently the season ticket renewals for next year have been overwhelmingly positive, and you fans eager already from what you've seen the second half of this season from these young Padres to be a part of the action next year, 2013. And there are all kinds of plans. You know, there are midi plans, full season plans. You know, to assure yourself, find the seat. You know, they've got some terrific young people. There must be about 50 of them downstairs there that will accommodate you. They'll take you around the stadium. You pick the spot you'd like to sit in. That's the beauty of the game. I mean, it's really a different game depending on where you like to sit.
Yeah.
You like to sit over the right fielder in the right field corner? Fine. You want to sit behind home plate? You like to be behind third or first? Pick the spot you like.
Well, some people like to be at the ground level. Some people like to be elevated a little bit so they can see the whole field.
0-2 to McBride. His home run to left field in the third inning, and at that time the Rockies were celebrating a 5-1 lead.
This game looks a whole lot easier from where we sit than where I used to stand. I can tell you that.
2 on, no one out for the Rockies here in the 8th. Right back to the mound. To second for one. Back to first. Oh, bad throw. Right into the crowd, and that'll cost a run. And is that Cabrera out at shortstop? Cabrera was totally off balance. Just kind of shot putted the ball over there, and the run scores to make it 11-6. Credit McBride with a fielder's choice RBI. Third RBI for him today.
Well, Dick, you said it perfectly. He was way off balance, not even close.
I think he knew he had to hurry if he was going to turn two.
Perfect throw by Corey Burns.
And it takes a hop into the crowd. So when the dust clears, McBride is at second base, and he's had around third on his way to the plate as Venable then throws in, and they hold the runner at third. McBride on the single. LeMahieu, his first hit today. Charlie Blackmon batting in the 9th spot in the order. Score 11-6, and Bud Black a little nervous now. He's notes that one swing away from this becoming a tight game again.
Yep, not going to mess around.
Tommy Lane comes in from the bullpen. With a left-handed hitter scheduled, we may see a pinch hitter for Blackmon. Fowler, the switch hitters on deck. Breaking the action with the Padres leading 11-6. as the 5th pitcher employed today by Bud Black. Tommy Lane comes in, and let's look ahead to the Arizona series. Tuesday night, 6 o'clock for Padres Live. Eric Stoltz tries to make it 7-2 against the ace of the D-back staff, Ian Kennedy, 13-11. Wednesday night, it'll be Volquez going against Cahill. Cahill's had a terrific year, winning 11 bowl games. And then a day game on Thursday, noon for our television time here on Fox Sports San Diego. Clayton Richard tries to move it up to a football number, kick that extra point, make it 14-12 against young Tyler Skaggs. So we hope you join us from Arizona. Then it's on to San Francisco for 3. And back home for our final homestand against Los Angeles and San Francisco. Lane has been one of those many surprises. Great stories you were talking about, Mark Grant.
Yeah, one of the better interviews I think this year, and all, you know, obviously the player, Tommy Lane. Great kid, likes to talk. We like the long answers when you're asking those questions. Interesting kid.
Has the advantage of pitching from the shadows here. Blackman entered the game in the 6th inning, flied out. No RBI, by the way. McBride, the run scored on the air by Cabrera.
You know what I found interesting from Tommy Lane, and it makes so much sense. He says he gets up on that bump every day, whether it's 6 or 8 pitches, just to get that feel.
Out of play, and the count 1-2.
And you don't have to throw 100%.
Yeah.
His idea is it's muscle memory. Your body gets used to throwing down that slope, throwing to a catcher, and it makes so much sense. I played catch every day, played a lot of flat ground, had a bullpen in between, but I like that idea.
1st and 3rd for the Rockies, 1 out here in the 8th. And that'll be out of play. Headley watches it go back about 6-7 rows.
When you were interviewing him, I like the fact that he talked about having different arm angles that he could go to. Straight over top, 3/4. Felt like it was a little bit sidearm, but it was really 3/4.
Yeah, realization hit him that at his age he wasn't going to make it to the major leagues as a starter, and so he changed the arm angle and said, "I'll be a relief pitcher if you want me to." And it's one of the memories of this season is in that bus in Atlanta. We were going out to the ballpark, the media bus, and here's this young guy sitting in the bus, and you know, who are you anyway? I mean, I haven't seen you before. And he introduced himself, and then that night struck out the side in his major league debut. Oh my, didn't want that. Ahead on the count 1-2, and he hits Blackman to load the bases. Now this could start to get serious, as the Rockies have 1 home here to make it 11-6, and the base is full. No way Blackman can get out of the way of that one. To Blackman to first, LeMahieu to second, McBride at third, Fowler the hitter. He has a double in 4 at-bats and a couple of strikeouts.
And that guy you see running to the dugout right there, that was Rosario. Hustling to the dugout, trying to get a bat in his hand.
Ball 1. Couple of singles, a walk, an error, and a hit batsman. And it's not going to be an easy finish for the Padres. Two and 0, 3-0, and now he's a pitch away from walking in a run. Tying run is on deck. Nick Vincent has been outstanding Last 15 outings, hasn't allowed a run. And the count full now to Fowler. Josh Rutledge, shortstop. He, like Fowler, has struck out a couple of times today. He's 0 for 3. Big pitch right here. Bases loaded, 3-2. And a run is walked in. It's 11-7. And that brings the tying run to the plate. Credit Fowler with an RBI, his 53rd. So Lane, who has been so reliable, comes in, hits one man, and walks in another. And that's going to bring Nick Vincent in from the bullpen. McBride scores, 11-7. Vincent, as he jogs in from the bullpen, his last 14 games, he's pitched 15 innings. Allowed only 8 hits, no runs, and he struck out 16. So he's been outstanding this last month.
He's been throwing some good quality strikes, no doubt about that. With the off day tomorrow, all hands on deck today, huh? Those guys in the bullpen.
Those 2 runs will be charged to Corey Burns. And a reminder to join us on Padres Fan Appreciation Weekend against the Giants, Friday through Sunday, September 29th. 30th. First 25,000 fans in attendance on Saturday, the 29th, will receive a Padres t-shirt. Sunday, September 30th, the final game of the home season, fans will receive a 2012 Padre team photo. Get your tickets at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555. Yeah, what looked like easy sledding has suddenly become a mogul course with the bases loaded and a 4-run lead in jeopardy. Only 1 out. And the Rockies haven't had to work very hard to get 2 runs and have the bases full.
Well, that's how this game is. Just when you know, early we're down 5-1. And we had opportunities. Didn't look like we were going to get back in it. Bang, we put a huge cricket number up with an 8 spot. Make it 11-5, and you think, okay, we can cruise it on in from here. But Rockies aren't going down without a fight here. They have rallied for a couple of runs, taking advantage of some walks in the error.
Nick Vincent out there on the hill with 1 pitch realized that he can roll a double play and get out of this mess. As you mentioned, Dick, great numbers. Opponent's only hitting $197 off of Nick. Rutledge up at the plate, he's grounding to 5 double plays this year.
He also hits with some power. We saw that up in Colorado. Single by Nelson started, then a walk to Brown. Fielder's choice, error on Cabrera, run scored. Single LeMahieu, then hit batsman and a bases loaded walk, forcing in a run, and it's 11-7. And a ball driven deep to left field. That's trouble. That ball is gone. A grand slam by Rutledge, and the game is tied at 11. Oh my. Well, the Padres score 8 in the 5th, and the Rockies have now scored 6 in the 8th. And Rutledge, with his first major league grand slam, greets Vincent. And the game is tied here in the 8th inning, and still only 1 out. Well, we praised the Padre pitching for not walking batters in the first 2 games of the series, but 2 walks and a hit batsman have come around to score here in this inning. So we start anew in the 8th inning. 11-11.
All 3 home runs this afternoon by the Rockies. First pitch hacking.
And these young Rockies, they battle. And what appeared to be a very happy Sunday here for the Padres now has become very serious as Tyler Colvin, the 8th man to bat in the inning, hitting for the pitcher. Another man with good home run numbers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rutledge with a swing to remember, a grand slam. 1-2 now to Colvin.
Like Mudd said, he jumped on the first fastball he saw.
Three of the runs charged to Burns, 2 to Lane. And Vincent, of course, to the home run. And Colvin goes down swinging. For the second out, 9th man to bat in the inning is Jordan Pacheco. He's 0 for 4. Padres sent 12 men to the plate in their 8-run 5th inning. And now the Rockies batting around in the 8th. Well, just as the Padres with 8 runs, that's the most they've scored in any single inning all season. They haven't had a collapse like this in any game this year, with a big lead and giving up 6 runs to tie this late. Well, the bullpen back busy. That's Rick's brothers, hard-throwing left-hander. So Andrew Werner will not pick up his 3rd win. That wipes his chances away this 6-run inning. And Alex White can't be the loser. Good pitch there. Fastball at the knees. 1-2. Six runs on 3 hits. Josh Rutledge, his 8th home run of the year, a big one, a bases full shot to left. Right field, Venable. The Rockies bat around on 3 hits. They score 6 runs, and the big swing. Shortstop Josh Rutledge, he finds the seats and left. It's tied at 11.
Brought to you by Petco, where the healthy pets go.
Well, a stunner here at Petco Park. The Padres cruising along with an 11-5 lead, and they find their opponents, the young Rockies, scoring 6 times on just 3 hits, but one big blow, a bases-loaded home run by that man, shortstop Josh Rutledge. Well, Padres will have to come back now. Yonder Alonso has 3 hits today, facing the hard-throwing left-hander Rex Brothers. Alonso, Venable, and Maben scheduled. Chris Denorfia available. And a shot. Oh, gloved nicely by LeMahieu, and he robs Alonso of his 4th hit of the day. That's what starts to happen. The Rockies rally for 6 to tie and now make a big defensive play.
This is a big-time play. You know, a base hit right there just shifts the momentum. Padres get a base runner, but laying out is LeMahieu to snuff that threat.
Venable will stay in and bat against the left-hander Brothers. He's 0 for 3, a sacrifice fly. Pacheco moves from behind the plate to first base. Rosario now the catcher. He brings his 24 home runs into the ball game, with McBride, the first baseman, out of the game. That's going to be a fair ball. Almost a check swing that's going to roll into the left field corner, and Venable's on his way to second base with a double. Almost tried to stop his swing.
Yeah, he did.
Excuse me, double. Venable.
He did try to stop his swing and tried to stop his swing, but hit it hard enough. Watch this ball just right on the barrel. Chris Nelson can't get to it. Swinging bunt, really, down the left field line.
Yeah, a little bit of luck and a break for San Diego, and a runner in scoring position.
Oh, Venable with his first hit today, and that brings up Cameron Maben. Maben a walk and a single, 1 for 3. Jesus Guzman, it came into the game, and Maben with a big lead, 11-5. Maben given the rest of the afternoon off, but they're not going to give Guzman a chance to swing. His home run, 3-run shot yesterday, the difference in a 4-3 win. Will Carlos Quinton have an at bat? Haven't seen him for 5 games. Alexei Amarista is due next. And it looks as if Chris Denorfia is going to be the hitter. Denorfia to bat for Amarista. Denorfia's done some good hitting, especially against left-handed pitching. Matt Belisle, you saw warming up a right-hander. Denorfia, .344 hitter against lefties this year. And he's not going to face a left-hander as Jim Tracy comes out, and the pitching parade for the Rockies will continue, understandably, here as Belisle is beckoned from the bullpen. and take his swings against the right-hander, with Baker due next. Belisle, the busiest pitcher in the National League, his 74th appearance. He'll give up some hits, 272 average against.
Yeah, fastball, slider, curve, and a change from Matt Belisle. 32-year-old veteran. He's around the plate. He throws good quality strikes. You're going to get something close to hit. And, we know Denorfia. He can give you a good at-bat. He can wear out right center field in that right field line with the best of them. Looks like right now they're kind of playing him straight away.
Tie-breaking run, Venable on at second, so good speed there. Guzman at first. Denorfia at 298. He and Forsythe at the moment, the leading hitters for the Padres at 298. Swings at the first pitch, rolls one to the right side. A tough play for the second baseman LeMahieu, but he makes the submarine throw. One pitch, one out, two gone as the runners move up. Venable over to third, and Guzman to second. And John Baker, who had the first big hit in that 8-run, 8-hit fifth inning. Chance to put the Padres back in front.
Right, Dick, he was the one who got the thing started today with the 2-out knock. Got him back to even.
And these are the situations hitters like to be in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, John Baker came through big time. He mentioned that. And looks like Mark Kotze is swinging a shillelagh on deck.
Pitcher spot due next. 2 out, 2 in scoring position. Tough time to hit with those shadows. That ball coming out of the sunshine, shadows, and then some more sunshine right in front of home plate. Two and 0. And a smart hitter, Baker. He can look for a location and a pitch. If he doesn't like it, take it, and it's 2-1. He liked it, fouls it back.
Outfield playing John Baker to go the other way in the outfield. Kind of on the shallow side. Dexter Fowler on the shortstop side of second base in center field.
And he singled to left field, and he knocked in those first 2 runs of the 8 scored in the 5th inning. That went the opposite field.
The thing, if you're Venable, you better be ready just in case there's a ball in the dirt.
And the count goes 2-2.
That hit Belisle went upstairs with Baker.
Young fan waited with his father. Did they get 2 today? That'd be something. 11-11. That's right. If you're just joining us, with 2 outs and 2 on here in the 8th inning, and Baker the hitter. Check swing foul.
Pretty tough breaking ball right there by Belisle. He wasn't trying to throw it for a strike. He was trying to get him to chase it.
With the conditions at the plate as a pitcher, I don't think I'd want to throw anything straight.
I don't think so either. I mean,
Strike 3 called, and there goes the Padre threat in the 8th inning to the 9th, tied at 11.
You know, he threw him a lot of fastballs this at bat. Trying to go down and in, down and away. That was a fastball, probably the best fastball to offer. There's a slider that fouled, and then the freeze fastball right on the inside corner for call third strike.
So something that manager Bud Black was hoping he wouldn't have to do is go to his bullpen closer, Luke Gregerson, who picked up his 8th save last night. And he comes in to work his 71st game of the season, the busiest of all the Padres. And in the top of the 9th, with this Colorado team understandably brimming now with confidence after scoring 6 to tie in the 8th inning. He'll face Nelson, Brown, and Rosario. Rosario, the home run hitting young catcher, coming into the game late and will bat in the 7th spot. Yeah, the Padres overcame an early 5-2 lead. The Rockies using the home run ball, including 3-run homer by the starting pitcher Alex White. 8 runs in the 5th to make it 12-5. Rather 11-5, and then the 6 runs by the Rockies, the grand slam by Josh Rutledge. 9 of the 11 runs scored by the Rockies today by way of the home run. 3 homers producing 9 runs. 2-0 to Nelson, who's 2 for 4 in the game. 7 hits in the series and scored a couple of runs today. Base hit to right. Oh, and Nelson just wearing out Padre pitching. 3 hits again today. 8 hits in the 3-game series. So leadoff man on for Colorado. And here's Andrew Brown, 2 for 3 and a walk.
Just got beat really with a fastball. He just happened to put it in a good spot between first and second.
And Forsythe was playing over towards the bag to pull, and he just fought that one off to punch it through that right side.
Brown, Singleton scored in the 2nd. Singleton scored in the 3rd. One of the walks in the 8th inning.
Doesn't seem like the Rockies are going to play for a run. They're not going to be willing to sacrifice, it looks like.
Willeen Rosario on deck. Leads the major leagues rookies in home runs, 24. Runs batted in, 64. Padres going to need some muscle in the bottom of this 9th inning. And Gregerson falls behind 2-0. The Rockies totally stealing momentum of that 6-run 8th inning. Everything breezing along the Padres' way. Goes to the fastball for a strike. $22,948 at Petco this afternoon. Bonus action here as this play continues almost 3.5 hours. Three and one. Andrew Brown in a position to be selective.
Yep. Yeah, Brown's got a couple of hits today.
Gregerson, the 7th pitcher used by Bud Black.
I'm betting, though, he's going to stick with that number 1 pitch of his. That's that slider, because he's got the ability to control that for a strike. Hopefully Brown puts it on the ground.
I think he can throw him a good sinker here and put it on the ground.
Ball 4. So things have really turned upside down for the Padres. They outstanding control. No walks at all Friday. No walks yesterday, but the walks have come back to bite them here today. 2 walks and a hit batsman became runs in the last inning, and now a single and a walk. And the Rockies with no one out in a position to take the lead, and the outstanding rookie home run hitting catcher Willeen Rosario steps up. First time at bat today. .24 home runs for Rosario, 64 runs batted in. He has wrapped into 9 double plays. Well, the challenge set for the veteran Luke Gregerson. Slider.
Well, you know he loves the fastball.
Yeah.
He can turn that around. So Luke Gregerson's going to just dot that slider down and away. I'll tell you this: he won't throw him if he does throw him a fastball, it's not going to be for a strike.
I agree. Yeah, but again, you got to. It's about location. You got to put your pitch in a good spot.
There it is again. 0-2.
And the other advantage is working ahead. Now the hitter has to expand the strike zone a little bit. Where with Nelson and Brown, he got behind in the camp.
Oh, put one in the heart of the plate, and fortunately Rosario out in front, and he fouls it away. Yeah, some of you fans have been watching a NFL here in town. Good news for Charger fans. They beat Tennessee today 38-10. And the good news doesn't end there. 2 other division opponents have lost. Oakland beaten by Miami, and Buffalo took care of Kansas City. So both the Raiders and Chiefs are 0-2, and the Padres start 2-0. Or the Chargers start 2-0. And Denver will play tomorrow night in Atlanta. Should Atlanta win that one, early in the season, the Chargers with a lead in first place. Ground ball to third. Foul. Oh, that was close.
And the second slider that's been too much of the zone.
Too much of the plate. Yep.
That was close. A foot shy of that being a 2-base hit. Count remains 2 strikes on Rosario. Nothing easy, Bud Black must be thinking. Struck him out. Now that was a perfect placement of that slider on the outside corner. 1 away.
Got ahead. Look at the location of this ball. John Baker setting up off the plate.
Jason Giambi will come up as a pinch hitter for LeMahieu. Giambi, pinch hitter, the final out last night against Gregerson, who made a good play stabbing his comebacker in the 4-3 win.
Now the left-hander is going out to the mound.
Joe Thatcher available in the bullpen, so Gregerson, who got the save last night, will leave with 2 runners on, 1 out, and Thatcher The 8th pitcher used in the game today for the Padres. Not too many left out there, even with the expansion of the September call-ups.
Joe Thatcher battling through that sore knee that he has had. But getting treatment each and every day, so he's good to go. And take a look at that out-of-town scoreboard. Mentioned it earlier, but Arizona, it's a final. They beat the Giants 10-2.
D-backs are now 72 and 74 in the season. Giants haven't lost many the last month. That Dodger St. Louis game, they're in extra innings, tied at 2. All right, left-hander Thatcher, left-handed hitter Giambi. Nelson at second, Brown at first for the Rockies here in the top of the 9th. Strike. Side wheels on a fastball.
But Giambi hitting .320 versus left-handed pitchers this year. Eight for 25.
Fly ball off third. Long run for Headley, and he can't get there. Good hustle. He and Cabrera trying to get to the barrier to make the play, and the count goes 2 strikes on Giambi.
I thought Chase Headley played that as well as you could. As you get close to that, to the sidelines over there, hey, go ahead and slide. It's easier to slide into that wall over there than running into it.
Hey, on the flip side of that, Giambi .320 versus lefties. Lefties versus Thatcher, they're only hitting .170.
Yeah, well, I would bet most of the lefties are more conventional than Joe Thatcher.
Mm-hmm.
2 strikes the count. He left that out over the plate.
A hanger right there.
Giambi talking to himself. That was a pretty good pitch to hit.
You normally don't see a hanging 0-2 breaking ball.
So if you're just joining us, watching the Chargers win impressively over Tennessee today. Padres fell behind 5-1, then rallied with an 8-run 5th inning. Took an 11-5 lead, but the Rockies scored 6 times in the 8th, and that's where we are now, 11-11, top of the 9th inning. The Rockies have 2 men on, 1 out, and pinch hitter Jason Giambi with the count 1-2 against Joe Thatcher. Thatcher, the 8th pitcher used by the Padres today. This is low, 2-2. 14 pitchers in the game. And there'll be another one when the Rockies come out defensively in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2 on and 2-2 to Giambi. That one cascaded from the top to the middle to the bottom level. Sitting in the right place, that young lad. Struck him out, came inside. 2 away.
You know, lefty on lefty. Talked about the numbers. Giambi 320 off lefties, but the unconventional Joe Thatcher getting ahead with the breaky ball, trying to pepper that outside corner, and Giambi's doing a fine job of keeping that front side in there, fighting off some pitches, being disciplined and taking those balls out of the zone. Once again, hanging tough. That last pitch tied him up inside a little bit on the inside part of the plate.
Another left-handed hitter, Charlie Blackmon, was a crucial point in that 6-run 8th inning when Tommy Lane had him in the hold, 1-2, and hit him with a pitch. Came around to score one of the 6 runs. And it looked like Lane was pretty much in command at that at-bat. His second time up in the game, 2 on, 2 out. Ooh, almost hit again. Looked like it diving out. Thatcher came inside.
Yeah, you can't just look for something out over the plate against Thatcher.
Nelson with the leadoff single and Brown with a walk off Luke Gregerson. Gregerson struck out Rosario. Thatcher gets Giambi, and now Blackmon. That's in there. 1-1. Blackmon was drafted a couple of times as a pitcher, the Marlins and the Red Sox, but elected not to sign, went to Georgia Tech, stopped pitching, and became an outfielder. That one ripped foul. Oh, there's been a couple of balls that have been hit solidly just foul in this inning by the Rockies.
Both Giambi and Blackmon hanging tough in there against the lefty Thatcher.
You know, because of the way that Thatcher throws, because the way he comes at you 3/4 wise, you know, that makes these left-handers really conscious of the ball in. So, as you saw Blackmon there, really out in front of a pitch inside.
1-2. That one nubbed foul. You saw Rafael Betancourt. He's their closer, getting ready in the Colorado bullpen. The Padres in the bottom of the 9th inning will have the 9th spot in the order, occupied at the moment by Joe Thatcher. Then the leadoff man Cabrera and Forsythe. Bends that one outside. Like he overthrew that one a little bit. 2-2.
Nice schnauzer.
After all, it is Petco Park.
That's right.
2-2. Struck him out. Joe Thatcher, what a job. Comes in with the game on the line and strikes out Giambi and Blackmon. And we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, still tied at 11. tie. This is a rarity at Petco, only the second time in the history of this ballpark that both teams scoring in double figures. It happened once before. 6 years ago, Atlanta beat San Diego 15-12 in 11 innings. Jonathan Herrera comes into the game and will bat in the 8th spot in the order and play second base. And Mark Kotsay is the pinch hitter. And it'll be the top of the order. Belisle staying in. And the chant comes up, let's go Padres, win this thing in the bottom of the 9th inning. A ball and a strike. The Colorado Rockies have used starter Alex White and Ottavino, Reynolds, Cahill, Brothers, and now Belisle. 6 pitchers. The Padres using 8. That ball out of play.
Oh, that pitch right there. I think Mark Kotsay kind of shaking his head. That was a little breaking ball, middle in, something that he could have wrapped down that right field line in the Petco porch. Look at this pitch here. That's right in the nitro zone, isn't it, Tony?
Just a little bit out in front of it.
Ball 2 strikes to Kotsay. Chop to third, foul. Padres have used Werner. He went the first 5 innings. Bass an inning, Boxberger an inning, and then the 8th inning when things fell apart. Burns, Lane, Vincent, Gregerson, and Thatcher in the 9th. So the Padres have just 3 pitchers available: Michaelis, Thayer, and Brock. Werner had a win in his pocket, it seemed. Not to be. 1-2. That ball wrapped hard to left field, but right to the left fielder, Brown. Kotsay a hard out, 1 away. A reminder to stay tuned after the game. Padres Live. So much to cover. The run scoring alone and the drama of 2 big innings. An 8-run inning for the Padres, 6-run frame for the Rockies. Chase Headley is homered today, maintaining his lead as the #1 RBI man in the National League, 1 ahead of Ryan Braun. This man Cabrera's knocked in 3 with a ground out and a 2-run double. Forsythe with 4 hits. Yonder Alonso with 3. Headley with a couple, including his home run. And Cabrera also a couple steals. Pulls back and takes it out of the strike zone. So he now has 33 stolen bases on the season. Forsythe, 3 singles and a double today. Scored 3 runs.
Let's see Cabrera get on base in this situation right here.
High chopper. That'll be tough to get him. Herrera's throw. He can't even make the throw. Couldn't get it cleanly out of the glove, and probably wisely elected not to force the throw as it's an infield hit for Cabrera.
What were you saying, Tony?
It'd be nice to get this guy on base right here, because now the threat of the stolen base, and you see his speed right here is what forces Herrera's hand. He doesn't come up with it completely cleanly and able to transfer from his glove to his hand. He's not going to have a play on Cabrera. So
Baltimore chop single for Everett Herrera. He has 2 hits. Here's Forsythe, 4 for 5. Cabrera undoubtedly will draw a throw from Belisle.
He was leaning a little bit. Rosario now catching. He's thrown out 36% of base stealers. The average is about 30%. So
Cabrera's been thrown out only twice all season long and successful 33 times. Fly ball back a second. Herrera 2 away. And Headley the hitter. Well, Headley a week ago with the dramatics in the Sunday win for the Padres, a grand slam. Does he have another piece of magic in that bat today? with 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Along with his 2-run homer, a single. He's been hit by a pitch and walked, 2 for 3.
I was going to say, yep.
That's a balk.
And that's okay from his perspective. I really don't think he wants to pitch to Headley in this situation anyway.
So on the balk, Cabrera, the winning run, into scoring position.
Watch, he just rolls right through this.
He didn't even stop, did he? Yeah, he, according to, I'm guessing, he didn't come to a complete stop. He just kept on, yeah.
Complete stop. He just kind of rolled through that.
We'll see now if they walk Headley intentionally.
In doing so, that opens up first base.
And they're not going to let Headley hit. You're absolutely right, Tony. They'll take their chances on Yonder Alonso, who's had a good day. 3 hits and a walk. And excellent play by LeMahieu, the second baseman, to deny him a 4-for-4 day. A left-hander throwing in the bullpen for the Rockies. Josh Outman. Unlike the Padres, the Rockies have loaded up the bullpen since September 1st. They have 13 pitchers available, and most of them have seen duty in this series. There's Outman. So Headley goes to first base. Cabrera, the winning run at second, and here comes Jim Tracy.
No, Jim Tracy's running out to the mound. Mm-hmm. Do you feel more comfortable with the veteran right-hander Belisle, or do you go to Outman, who's going to be lefty on lefty, obviously? This looks like he's going to let Belisle pitch to him.
I think he trusts Belisle. Belisle's been in more games than anybody else down there.
And the other fact is that Alonso has the reputation of a good hitter against left-handed pitching. Oh, Belisle versus Alonso with the game on the line.
Lefties versus Matt Belisle this year, 293 average.
You got to be crafty here against Belisle, because Belisle likes to throw that little breaking ball down and in.
Alonso in the game, an RBI single in the first inning that gave the Padres a short-lived 1-0 lead. He walked in the third, singled and scored in the 5th, the 8-run inning, doubled also in that inning, the 6th, and was robbed of a hit by LeMahieu, the second baseman. So 3 for 4 with a walk and a chance to be the hero with a base hit here. Off speed in the strike zone.
Kind of lulls you to sleep with that little breaking ball right there. That one he threw for a strike. We've seen him today already throw that little breaking ball down and in, but not throw it for a strike.
Line drive left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Here comes Cabrera. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's going to be close. He is in there. The Padres win. Alonso being chased into right field, his 4th hit of the game, and the Padres have won a scoring fest 12-11. Oh my. Alonso's second RBI on his 4th hit of the afternoon. And the man you have admired so much, this young Alonso, Tony Gwynn, comes through.
That's an outstanding at bat right there. Started him off with a breaking ball, carves the ball to left field, drives in the go-ahead run, and Padres come back and snatch this victory.
And with it, they have won now 5 consecutive series at home. They have the season series 10-8 over Colorado. They continue their great play in the second half of the season. They're now 23-7 at home. They've lost only 7 times in 30 games, and Cabrera, it needed one of the fastest Padres with 2 outs. He was streaking as hard as he could go. A good throw from the left fielder, Brown, But Cabrera's speed got him under the tag, and Alonso with a game winner, walk-off base hit, and the Padres celebrate a 12-11 win. It was indeed a tough time coming, Layla, but a good going away present for you.
Yonder, your fourth hit of the game, the most clutch by far, 0-1 count. What did you see?
Well, it was a fastball up and away, and I was just trying to stay back. He had just thrown me a curveball, and I was just trying to see a pitch and just put good wood on it. That's the main thing. You don't want to try to just do something that you can't do. So I just want to go with my strengths there, and I was able to hit a line drive.
12-11 game, long game, a lot of comebacks. What does that say about the fight of this team?
It was a wild game, but it's been like that all year. We don't give up. We just keep it going, and we keep grinding, and good things happen when you keep grinding.
And how about Everett Cabrera's work to get on base as well?
It was big. I mean, it felt like every inning we had a chance. And for Cabrera, with his speed, anything can happen. So it was good heads up by him, and Chase had a big game too. So
appreciate the time, Yonder. Congratulations on the walk-off.
All right, thank you.
Send it back upstairs.
So the Padres take 2 out of 3 in this homestand, 7-2, a terrific homestand, and on to Arizona we go. But right now, a lot to cover in this one. Let's go to Mike Pomeranz.
Hey, how about it, guys? Great Padre win. 12-11 the final. More from Yonder Alonso in a couple of moments. You're going to hear from the manager, Buddy Black. Got to recap 12 runs worth of daytime fireworks and our instructional how to pull the ball. See you in moments.